Pewter is about possibilities. It is an idea made real. Crafted with precision. It can make tradition timeless. Pewter evolves. When allowed to be free, it can captivate you. Pewter is our legacy, and we're keeping the legacy alive. Royal Selangor, since 1885.
A very good evening to you and welcome to season 15 finale of the eRGP. Victor Ang alongside Des Corkill to talk you through the four categories of races that we are looking to find a champion for tonight, Victor.
Oh yeah, we have already reached here the final round of season 15 here at the Global Edition. It's hard to believe that we're finally at this stage of competition, but here we are. It's been an incredible whole 2 months of racing that we've been having with the Global Edition, but finally it all comes down to this. The final round here in the Bahrain International Circuit is now the championship on the line here for all four of our classes. We've got plenty of storylines to really tell you guys all about it, so let's go ahead and run right into it.
Yeah, the season calendar, we started off at Silverstone, then went to Sebring, that was in July. Then we had Daytona, 1 or 2 hiccups in Daytona, but we eventually got the work done in Daytona, and that set us up wonderfully for round 4 in Bahrain. That's where the finale is going to take place, and it's a fascinating circuit. There's a lot of straights. It's a very, very quick circuit. We'll talk about it in a little bit more detail here. 5.4 kilometers clockwise, 15 colors, lots of overtaking opportunities.
Oh, plenty of overtaking opportunities, particularly the first combination of the first 3 corners. It's been a favorite overtaking spot, and also particularly at turns 9 and 10. You always see overtakes happen there, especially during Grand Prix races, of which Bahrain hosted its first one in 2004, and also more recently has played host to the WEC 8 Hours of Bahrain. So it's also had a lot of endurance racing also take place at this venue.
Let's have a look at the class of cars that we've got. We've got 4 categories. That means 4 different classes of cars. The FIA GT4 Porsche Cayman is going to be first up for us for the copper class. They're the tanks that we go, and then we run right the way through to the Le Mans Hyper LMDH. It's a real variety of cars for the guys to deal with.
Indeed, a huge variety of cars for them to choose from, and particularly we've been seeing the racing to be excellent all across all these different classes, from the copper all the way to the gold and silver classes. So as we have a look right now at how the championship has shaped up after round number 3, we did manage to get the reruns done just yesterday. So right now for the copper class, Sebastian Gunawan still remains at the top. He pretty much held that position since round number 1 here, Des.
But he is under pressure because Aiden Tan is just within 10 points of him after a really good performance by Aiden earlier this week. In bronze, Fazal Alim from Sri Lanka. He is still leading the way. He'll take some knocking off top spot. Chester Lam, my old mate from Hong Kong. He is leading the way in the silver class. We've got to get a smiling photo of Chester sometime, somewhere. On the gold class, Roy Numa Riparip. I've never come across him. I've never commentated on him. Looking forward to see how the Filipino does.
Yeah, he's just overtaken the top spot for the class after round 3. So I'm going to be very excited to see what he'll be bringing to the table here in Bahrain. Here is the team's standings here, and MPRGP, you've seen them on the top of the board for the whole time, and Indonesia really has shown up in the global edition, in this edition, number 15.
It is, and there's a variety there, though. Okay, MPRGP are 407 points. That's a lot. But there's Malaysian teams, the Filipino teams, the Hong Kong guys are doing very well as well. And a passionate esports sim racing. What can go wrong if you've got a name like that? You're good to be on the leaderboard. That's the team standings.
Yep.
There are other standings that we've got. We've got national standings, I think, coming up next.
Indeed, we do. So as we have said, Malaysia had traditionally been on the top of the rung when it comes to the Nations Cup. This time around, Indonesia has shown up massively in Global Edition 15. So they're now standing literally less than about 11 points away from Malaysia. So could the Indonesians this time around take the Nations Cup in GE15? We'll have to see.
That's the nations. Let's get on to the individual competitions. Qualifying has already started in the GT4 class, in the Copper class, and we can go and join live the Copper class, I think, where qualifying has got about 2 minutes and 25 to go. And Sebastian Gunawan, the championship leader, sorry, we're on standings now, the championship leader, Sebastian Gunawan, I can tell you in qualifying, he is already top of the pile.
Indeed, he is. I mean, only 10 points ahead of Aiden Tan. He's going to be looking to make round number 4 his ultimatum, basically, to the rest of the Copper class to secure his championship win here in GE15. So we'll see whether that will come to pass. So as we jump into Bahrain Circuit, a specialty that we're going to be doing for this round is that it's going to be a night race here, Des. We're going to be seeing the sun go down on our very screens here. Sebastian Gunawan right now still out there. It's already set the time of 2:10.2. I think that's certainly going to be enough to keep him on the front of the grid, don't you think?
He's a long way clear. I'm at a 2:13.066. Must confess, I was expecting a lot more competition there. I'm an out at 2:18, so it almost seems like Sebastian Gunawan is the man right then. Gunawan is under pressure, that's better. A 2:08.05, so they did the outlap, and now we're going to get some faster laps coming in. Yeah, with 1:23 left, what are we now? At 2 minutes. Yeah, it's around about now that the best laps will come in. Yeah. We're on board with Gunawan once again. Talk us around the circuit while you can, Victor. It's we mentioned there's an awful lot of long straights involved, but there's some very tight corners as well.
Indeed, there is. We're going through like the first, I think this is, this is going into the second sector actually. We're already turns 4, 5, and 6. This is a series of chicanes here. Very tricky one because it all goes downhill until you get to this final corner here. This is where you're going to be very careful on the brakes to make sure you get a nice line and head yourself up into this slightly uphill section before you get to one of the most technical parts of Bahrain, turns 9 and 10. A favorite overtaking spot, especially given that there is a very long straight that comes up right after this. So it's absolutely important for you to be right on the apex, on the exit here to make sure you get the maximum exit speed out of here. And then from this point on, it's just basically keeping your pedal to the metal until you can get up into turn 11, where from this point on, it's going to be an uphill sweeper. First going on the left, and then later on into the right. And then after that point on, there'll be 2 back-to-back straights. A very important section here in this final sector, and being able to nail down the exit, especially out of this corner here, will be vital for Sebastian Gunawan to be able to maintain his pole position.
Yeah, he's just gone a little bit wide there. He's got to control this. I'm not sure he'll be able to particularly improve. 2:08.005 is his leading time. Sebastian Gunawan, a great little flying lap that you've given us there, Victor. It shows just how quick this can be. Gunawan does not, in fact, improve his time, but he is still out on the circuit. So where are we? Right then, he's coming in now. 4th gear, accelerates down towards the main straight, and Sebastian Gunawan, car number 1, championship leader, 2:07.648. So yeah, he has actually improved his time, and that will be tough to beat.
Wow, this is how Gunawan performs under pressure. This is incredible stuff. Just constantly improving his time. Literally right until the very last second of qualifying here. Qualifying is officially ended. We're going to be seeing more times start to come in as well. Aiden Tan, his nearest challenger right now in the championship, only has set a 2:08.3, and certainly is going to have to sit very comfortably in that second spot. Dharma 1, Savanis, he is able to get himself up into the second row alongside with Shazli here, who is, by the way, set a 2:09.1.
Is Aiden Tan still out on the circuit? I mean, he is still out there, so he's still on a flying lap, but no, he's all over the place on that one. I can't see him improving on his time there. But this is the man who's got the only realistic opportunity of preventing Sebastian Gunnawan picking up this copper first place at the end of season 15. Let's stick with Aiden. Let's just see how neat and tidy he is around this right-hand corner. Aiden Tam, we're on board with him.
I think one thing that would be very lovely for these drivers to contend with is that Bahrain, besides being a fast circuit, also has plenty of runoffs, plenty of wide areas on the road. So there's a lot of different kind of variety of lines you could potentially use, especially through the first 3 corners and especially through turns 9 and 10. And given that there's many long straights here, it's going to be a very fast circuit. You're going to have to be able to stay as close as possible to your competition if you want to have any chance of making overtakes here. So, well, Hayden looking a little bit out of shape coming into the uphill section.
Yeah, and it's an awkward one.
Yeah, unfortunately, will not be able to set a time here as qualifying has officially closed.
Qualifying it closes. Gunnawan on pole position, but Aiden Tan, his nearest rival, is alongside him. Darmawan, once again, is pretty impressive. I've liked the work of Darmawan, even though he's only 12th in the championship. He picked up 9 and 8 points respectively in the 2 races last time out. And Shazley on the second row. Ethan Lowe is there as well in P5, but our focus is on the front 2, and do forgive us editorially if we focus completely on that front row of the grid, Victor, because that's where the championship's going to be won and lost.
Exactly. I mean, these drivers have been fighting for the last 3 rounds here in order to maintain themselves on that top spot, and it would be remiss of us to not cover this championship battle here. I mean, a 10-point difference, not the closest one we've seen from the different classes so far, but certainly for the copper class here, it could make a big difference here if Aiden Tan is able to get a good performance out of this round.
Don't forget, it's 11 points now because the 5 points for the qualifying and the 4 points for the qualifying. So it's 11 points. That could become crucial. 2 races coming your way. We've got a sprint race followed by a reverse grid race. And the sprint race is up and running in about 40 seconds time. Gunnawan is on pole position. He's alongside Aiden Tan. Should we move down the rest?
Yeah,
so
sure.
Aiden Tan is car number 3. Then Darwan is on the second row alongside Shazley.
Yep, Ethan Lau as well as Bardian Nick are currently sitting in that 3rd row. We got Wei Shen Wong as well as Jeremy Yao sitting just behind him in that 4th row.
On to row 5, you've got Megat Ayman and alongside Adre Ahmed from Malaysia.
That rounds out the top 10. So now that the red lights are going to be coming on, we're going to be kicking off our final round here for the copper class. It is going to be a brilliant evening here in the Bahrain International Circuit. Red lights are on, and we are off for our copper class race. 15 minutes of running as Gunnawan guns his way towards the start. Darmawan right now actually managed to get a jump onto Aiden Tan. It keeps him held up behind now as he guns his way towards that first corner, keeping himself in a very defensive line. Simon Adams going to try to duck in there with Wei Shen Wong. Unfortunately loses control. Bit of contact there between Stefanis and as well as Bardian Nick. Bardian Nick is already going through here, already getting himself close and closer to Aiden Tan. But Aiden Tan, despite having a bad start, has been able to regain his second position, but Gunnawan is already very far ahead.
Yeah, Aiden Tan was a little bit fortunate there, and the Darmawan bounced off. It took a couple of rivals with him as well, so the 1-2 gets there. Oh, that's a little bit wayward. That's not the way you're meant to ride in the desert. But it's Jeremy Yeo down in P8, really tight there, 7 through 9. Up at the front, though, it's the perfect start, exactly what Sebastian Gunnawan wanted, to get away to a good start. Bardian Nick, who's always good fun. The livery's all very identical, which is a little bit unfortunate for us, so we can use the graphics. And then down in P3, yeah, the 3 all going the same way.
Yeah.
Bardianik leading the way out of that little group of 3.
Ethan Lau has been trying to gun his way through from Stefanis as well as Bardianik. I think Stefanis having a bit of a kerfuffle earlier on in the first sector has now found himself battling together with Bardianik, Damawan as well as Shazli here. So single file line as we come through the back straight here as everyone's starting to settle into their positions. Darmawan in the moment is leading this pack of cars here, trying to chase out the Bardianik, but you can already see Aiden Tan a clear 2 seconds ahead of Bardianik in the moment. Gunnawan also 2 seconds ahead of Aiden Tan.
Yeah, Gunnawan's got off to a fabulous start, hasn't he? We're focusing here on the battle for P3. I think we ought to just give a little bit of respect to the man at the front at the moment. You can see him, he's just going over the crest of the hill. There he is, Sebastian Gunnawan. As you say, it's a 2-second lead. He got off to a good start. There was trouble going on behind him, and he has just taken full advantage of that, and he's a neat and tidy driver.
Indeed he is. Aiden Tan's going to have his work cut up for him I think, in order to try to catch up with him, or at the very least keep up with him. I think at the very least that Aiden Tan being also 2 seconds ahead of the pack of cars behind him will certainly feel quite comfortable in controlling his track position from this point onwards. But certainly a bit of a situation is brewing here from 4th place onwards. Ethan Lau going for a dive on the inside, actually takes it out. Barden Nick at the same time, and Dharma 1 goes through and takes 3rd place.
Stock cars, that's what we've got out on the circuit in Bahrain at the moment. That is donkey derby kind of stuff, and Ethan Yo, he really went in far too much. Mohammed Bintang was also knocked away. I think Shazli is in a little bit of trouble as well. As we look down in P12 now, Mohammed Bintang, he's at the tail of that little group.
Actually, Sakura right now is the one holding him off, as Randy Go is already in front of them and pulling away in that 10th place, the final point slot, as it were. Mohammed Bintang, I believe he was somewhere in the 6th or 7th position before Ethan Lau's little contact has unfortunately bumped him all the way off the track, and now outside of the points. He's going to have to fight his way back. Actually, Sakura looking a little bit out of shape there. That might put Bintang back into play here, Des.
You called this on the flying lap. You said some of these corners are very tight. You've just got to attack them in the right place. You've got to have the right racing line. There we go, round turn number 10. Everyone's neat and tidy there, even Yo, who hasn't got that reputation so far.
Indeed he hasn't. But Barden Nick is now on a recovery drive right now after having been taken out by Ethan Lau. He's only got Molo Yono in front of him.
Oh, behind Barden.
But yeah, Jeremy Yao unfortunately getting a bit of contact there, I think, with Megat Ayman and Randy Go. Randy Go is now going around the inside of Jeremy Yao, takes his position away. He's up into 9th right now, but Jeremy Yao is looking to try to get the place back.
The highlights package for Jeremy Yao. He's playing real, bash him as much as you possibly can. That's the fun of GT4s, particularly when we're not real. You can bash the cars and still stay in the race. Jeremy Yao, he's been good fun for us as we approach the end of the first 5 minutes. We're nearly 1/3 of the way through already. Gunawan still leads, and that lead has actually gone up a couple of to nearly 3 seconds, and Aiden Tan is ahead of Darman, so that's why we're focusing on this battle for P9, where Randy Go is leading the way at the moment, ahead of Yao and Bintang.
Yeah, I think the only other person who's going to be close enough perhaps to make a challenge is Barden Nick. Now again, he was earlier up in P5. Now he's on a recovery drive here. He's going to try to go around the outside of Mulyono. Can't quite find the speed though, so Mulyono will be able to close the door on him by the time to get into the 2nd turn. So I think Barden Nick is going to have to be patient and wait until it gets into the 2nd sector before he can make another move.
Yeah, that was nice from Mulyono. He knew that he had the line, but this time he's got a little bit of a drag. Mulyono this time defends. Can't defend on the inside, and Bardyanik, that's good work. Is there a switchback there from Mulyono? The answer is no, so Bardyanik goes through into P6. That's good racing by Bardyanik.
Yeah, he's on the revenge quest, I think, because the next person on the menu there is going to be Ethan Lau. Still about 3 seconds ahead, but given the pace that Bardyanik has been showing so far, I think he'll be able to catch up to him by the end of this race. So that could be a setup here for a bit of drama here, Des.
Certainly could, if he can get close enough. He's 3 seconds down, though. That's a long way to make up on Ethan Lau for Bardyanik. This is Ethan Lau. Goes into turn 10, takes it nice and diligently. Bardyanik is there. Megat goes in very strong. A lot of tires were taken, a lot of rubber was taken off those tires on that stop.
Yeah, you mentioned that, given this a virtual race, you've been seeing a lot of bashing going around, but bear in mind, these cars do absorb damage. The game itself does calculate the contacts between the different cars, giving you damage points, and that could affect the performance of your car here. So I suspect that Mulyono right now either has a bit of damage or may have cooked his tires a little bit at the start here, allowing Megat Ayman now to catch up with him in his Mark V livery here, a tribute to the Speed Racer, I believe.
It's great stuff, isn't it? There he goes. Nice to see Megat Ayman. Hasn't got any drag on him though. It's surprisingly undulating, this course in Bahrain. Took me a little bit by surprise when the flying lap took place. A number of uphills and downhills and little squiggles to negotiate as we look further down. This is Andre Amit. Now, Andre is 4th in the championship standings. We're focused on the championship, of course, but he'd like to get P3 as well. And Andre Amit, if he can get a couple of decent points here and get him into the top 6 or 7, from P13, it'll put him with a chance of a top 3 berth.
And remember this calculus as well, there will be a reverse grid for the top 10 in race 2. So I think if anything, AJ will want to be in that 10th spot, so at least he will be able to challenge for some points in race number 2. He's going to try to make the moves on Farhan here. Fortunately, Farhan's not giving him the light of day, but unfortunately for him, Adrian Ahmed already has inside. Farhan goes a little bit too wide, losing his control a little bit, trying to keep his composure as he tries to stay alongside Adrian Ahmed. Unfortunately, will have to concede by the time he gets on the straight.
Yeah, we've got a off-tube shot of Andre. He's a tiny little fella, but he's very, very brave going into it. Mohammed Farhan is the guy who has taken the wayward route. We are still on board with Andre. Now let's have a look with Randy Go. One of the many Malaysians here. Randy, this is in P9. He's 3/10 down, looks on the inside of Megat. Megat holds his line. That's good driving. You've got to be able to take the bumps, and that's well done by Megat. But I tell you what, Farhan's going to have another go. Switch back from Farhan. Megat again defends well.
Yeah, tried to switch around there, but then Mega Aima he just stayed on his line. He knew that was the ideal speed to take into that corner and stays ahead of Randy Go. Randy will have to tuck in behind him for this next sector here, the next part being an uphill section. He's going to try and have a little bit of a peek on the inside, maybe go for a dive actually. Gets in a touch, but that will not work there. Randy Go, he spins out and Jeremy Yo goes through. Randy Go still in 10th place right now. Bintang still 5 seconds behind. By the time that Randy does recover, he's already lost the place.
Megat did great there. You hold on to your line. You've got every right to hold on, just so long as you're not spun around. Randy Go paid for just being a little bit too ambitious. This is your leader. 5 seconds clear.
Wow.
That is remarkable. Sebastian Gunawan, there's a reason why he's leading the championship.
I mean, he's out here to make a statement for sure. I mean, a 5-second lead, and plus, like, Aiden Tan has not really been giving him that much pressure. This is purely him showing off the pace that he can do on this track. Well done here for Sebastian Gunawan. I think with 6 minutes left in the running, he's already created such a comfortable buffer now between himself and his championship rival.
It'll give him a 16-point lead over Aiden Tan if it finishes this way. 11 points coming into this race. There could be a fastest lap, so it could be a lead of up to 18 points going into the last race of the season. It would need a catastrophe for Gunawan to lose the title from here. Aiden Tan, though, he will keep on having a go in the Porsche. He's having a good race. He's 2 seconds clear of Darmawan, but he's 5 seconds down on Gunawan. Was Gunawan in the distance? Is Gunawan on the same circuit? Is Gunawan in UAE?
It's not even the same corner. Actually, he's already entering into the second sector here, where Aiden Tan's just only got him past into the 8th corner now. So that's just how far ahead our current race leader is. Stavanis Darmawan as well as Zarif Adam are currently tucked in behind, also in a very much in the island of their own here, 2 seconds in front and 1.5 seconds behind there. We also still have Ethan Lau still maintaining his 5th position this time around. No one in his vicinity here to try to battle here. His nearest rival, Bardenig, is 4 seconds behind here, so you can already see that big islands are already being formed here on the circuit between our top 10.
They are. This procession isn't exactly what I was expecting, but the GT4s, it can sometimes happen like that because they haven't got the oomph and the pace to quickly accelerate. So if you do get lost, if you can't pull a slipstream, you can get forced a little bit back. But we've had plenty of entertainment anyway. Mulnyono, he's been involved, and Armate Yo, he's there again. Jeremy Yo, come on. What have you got for us this time? X-Park, the sponsor, X-Rated Action.
Hey, this is going to be hot and heavy indeed here because Jeremy Yao caught up to Mulyono. I mean, Mulyono has been facing challenge again and again here. Megan Ayman's already passed him for 7th place, but Mulyono might be at risk of losing another one here to Jeremy Yao if this keeps up. 4 minutes still remaining here. Jeremy Yao still sizing him up now as we are entering the final corner here, getting onto the main straight. I think Mulyono's gone a little bit wide there. That might just open him up for attack.
What odds are you giving me of contact as Jeremy Yo tries to go past Mulyono? Mulyono will try to defend. Oh, he goes on the outside. Mulyono does defend. There is a little bit of contact, but that is good work there from Jeremy Yo. He got alongside. He's got alongside. Can he defend the corner? The answer is Mulyono goes past Jeremy Yo.
Close the door.
Oh, it's tight. And no contact. Clean as a whistle. I owe you 5. Ring it.
Well, he had to brake actually on the apex there to avoid contact with Mulyono, but that's unfortunately given him a bit of breathing room right now in this battle.
Avoiding contact, same sentence. Come on.
Well, it is how it is right now. I mean, he's already seen the kind of chaos that's happened earlier on in this race, and with 3 minutes remaining, he doesn't want to lose these precious few points he can get in 9th position here. But we'll still continue to keep the pressure up onto Mulyono for the rest of these 3 minutes, I expect.
Yeah, I suspect so. Mulyono, he's got the right to hold the line. But there are plenty of overtaking opportunities if you can get close enough, if you can get into the slipstream. That's got to be what Jeremy O is trying to do. Where are we? P9. They're just coming into turn 10 here. Right, if you get the right line out of here, you've got 2 long straights. Miliono does get a good line. Jeremy O can't get close this time. So Miliono, I think, will be able to defend as they come around onto 11 and 12, which is, again, fast left-handers. Good battle between these two. It's a shame it's for only 8 and 9.
Yes, just basically eat away at those margins bit by bit. It's only made of a single tenth throughout the entirety of Sector 2. Now he's getting onto the straights here. He needs to be able to close this gap even more by the time to get onto the main straight. He's getting tantalizingly close. Almost looked like he lost control there, but actually still stays relatively close here to Miliono. So I think he's still going to try to set up for that slipstream on the main straight, and let's see whether or not he'll be able to make the next pass at the first turn.
2 minutes remaining. Up at the front, Gunawan has a 6.5 second lead. He's going to be lapping people fairly soon. We're battling here with P8. Joshua Ivan Miliono against Jeremy Yo. Miliono has the lead. Behind them in the yellow, we've got Randy Go and Mohammed Bintang. Let's see if Yo can make a move this time. He's been very disciplined, I've got to say. I've been impressed. There's been a couple of shenanigans as Miliono again has a lovely line going into that corner. And he's got the right to defend that line. And once again, Jeremy Yo is left wondering what opportunities might emerge.
Yeah, I think he'll still have to go for at least another lap here, continue to edge away at those advantages here. Speaking of advantages, I think Bardia Nick might be under pressure now in the dying moments of this race here because Shazli is already caught up within half a second of him entering the second sector now. So Bardia Nick is going to have to defend for the last lap here of this race, most likely from a challenge coming here from Zarif Adam.
Yeah, we are into the final minute and we're just about halfway through. The race leader, Gunawan, is about halfway through. If he slows down, he might actually just have this one as his final lap.
He might just, or maybe he want to try to beat the clock a little bit and force all of these guys one extra lap of battles here, which would actually make for a nicer show, not gonna lie.
It would be. It depends how conservative. Well, conservative and Sebastian, no, that's not really going. Let's have a look at P6. Zarif Adam Shazli in the purple livery. He's in P6. He's just trying to get on the tail there of Bardia who I've enjoyed commentating on.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I think he lost a bit of time getting through the turns 9 and 10, so unfortunately, he's already gotten away from him a little bit too far now, I think, to make that last lap challenge. We're already looking at, like, what, 5 seconds left on the clock. Is going to beat the time here and actually initiate the final lap. Oh, will he be finishing it? I think he was finishing it right here and right now. Sebastian Gunawan, very dominant one, comes across the line. Doesn't seem to have taken a checkered flag yet.
No,
we might be on one more lap.
Yeah, I think we're into that final lap. It was very, very close. He hasn't slowed down. He's still 7 seconds clear of Adam Tan, who's 3 seconds clear of Darmowan in P3. Ethan Lowe's got himself up into P4 ahead of Bardia Nick, but here is Ethan Lowe.
Yeah.
This was pretty good. I mean, Zarif Shazli, now this is a good battle.
Yes.
In Ayman.
Final chance for him to try to make this work. Final chance to get through turn 1 here. It's going to go around the outside. Bit of a brave move there, but cannot quite find the speed to get alongside Bardia Nick. By the time to get to the second turn, Bardia Nick closes the door onto Shazli.
These GT4, though, they're heavy, heavy machines. Unless you really get a good, smooth drive out, it's difficult. But he's got a little in the slipstream there, and that's better. Shazli onside Bardia Nick. I thought he'd got past him. He got alongside him. Here's the switch back on. No, Bardia Nick defends quite well there. And Bardia Nick coming into this next corner will have the line. Yep. So Bardia Nick has repulsed a very aggressive move there by Shazli. That's a good defensive work by Bardia.
Yeah, another attempt here around the outside, but he had to cancel it by the time to get to the apex. Bardia Nick will be able to keep himself front, but I think Shazli is going to try to use a better exit coming out of here to try to battle it out by turns 9 and 10, trying to go around the outside. A bit of a risky one, but again, he's trying to go for that setup. Cannot quite find it, though. Bardia Nick blocks him immediately on the apex, so he still has to tuck in behind. Our race leader right now, Sebastian Gunawan, is rounding around the final straight here. Will be cruising his way now to victory here on Bahrain.
This is an incredible performance. Nearly 8 seconds and going away. This is phenomenal. It doesn't guarantee the championship, but it near as damn it does. Sebastian Gunawan races away for what will be his 1, 2, 3, for 5th win of this season in just 8 races. You can drop some points as well. So he's fastest in qualifying, and he goes over the checkered flag to take the victory. Sebastian Gunawan, not champion, but certainly champion-elect.
Yeah, Aiden Tan as well will be coming across the line. He takes second place. Bardia Nick as well as Shazli is still battling it out until the final turns here. Ethan Lau should be coming across the line now to claim 4th place. Bardia Nick and Shazli are now gunning their way through the final corner now. Bardia Nick ahead of Shazli here. It looks like he will beat him to the line now as Bardia Nick takes a checkered flag and secures 5th place ahead of Zarif Adam. Megat Ayman in the Mach 5 car comes in 7th place. Molyono clings 7th place ahead. 8th place ahead of Jeremy Yao, who has taken a position from Randy Gold, who finishes in a respectable 10th. Yeah,
that battle between Bardianik and Shazli went right to the line. Just 1/10 of a second between 5th and 6th in the end. But the real story of this one, as Bintang comes over the line in B11, Farhan 12, Wong, Amit and Gunawan completing the scorers. You have points right the way down to P15, but it's 25 points for Gunawan and I think a bonus of a fastest lap.
Indeed it will. I mean, it's going to be crucial points indeed here, so we'll see how that will shape up for our championship towards the end of this round here. But for Copper class, wow. I mean, again, Gunawan just showing that he's still the class of the field there. I mean, what an incredible lead is already built up in race 1. Like I said, I think he's really trying to put a statement here to the rest of the Copper class drivers that he might just be untouchable right now.
Yes, in many ways you think, why is he driving Copper class? He should be driving a little bit more than that, but there was a title to be won. That's exactly what you do. Listen, he was fastest in qualifying, as the boys have a bit of fun coming to the finish line. Fastest in qualifying, got off the line very quickly, avoided all the aggro going on behind him. But to win by 8 seconds, we just don't see that in ERGP.
Indeed, we don't. I mean, one reason for that as well is that Aiden Tan's pulling off of the line at the start was kind of terrible. It allowed Dharmawan to actually pass him going into the first turn, and it was only fortunate that Dharmawan kind of cooked it a little bit going in that first turn, so that allowed Aiden Tan to regain his position. But by the time he did that, Gunawan was already 1 whole second ahead. So now that we're going to be going into our next race here, we're going to be going for a reverse grid for the top 10 here. So Gunawan, Aiden Tan, and Dharmawan will be starting from 10th, 9th, and 8th respectively. I believe it will be Randy Go and Jeremy Yao who will be starting on that front row here from the reverse grid. So might be a chance to see them go for that battle again here this time.
I might see a chance for a little bit of contact going into turn 1 and 2 with Jeremy Yao if he doesn't get off to a good start, because Molyono is behind him. Molyono will really want to go for that. Bardianik will be in P5. Interesting to see if Gunawan from further down is able to actually work his way through. He just needs to make sure, I think, that he finishes somewhere in the top 10. Anywhere in the top 10 should be enough to secure the crown, unless Aiden Tan has a runaway victory and the maximum points. That'll get him 17, and then Gunawan needs to score 0.
Yeah, I mean, again, with him starting somewhere in the middle of the grid, that risk is certainly there, isn't it? Especially with the pileups that might happen going into turn 1. So he's going to have to be very cognizant of where he places that car in that first turn. Probably will be good for him to give a little bit of space, actually, to the other drivers, let them through a little bit, and then try to catch them up, because we know that from the pace he's shown in race 1, he certainly has a pace to catch them by the midpoint of this race. So, yeah.
Interesting, asking him to be conservative. Great word, cognizant. I like that, by the way.
Hey.
Trademark that one. Reverse grid race, as you said. Randy Go will be on the front row of the grid. He is alongside Jeremy Yao, which could be fun. Second row, Molyono alongside Megat Ayman.
Yeah, Zarif Adam, Anwar Shazli in the third row alongside Bardia Nick. Ethan Lau sits behind them alongside Stefanis Dharmawan. And in the fifth row, we got Aiden Tan as well as Gunawan, the top 2 from race number 1. Red lights are on now, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be race number 2 here in Bahrain for the Copper class. And we are off for some racing here. As now Randy Go tries to make sure he's the first one to get through in the first turn, but Molyono might have some ideas as he tries to block off Jeremy Yao going in that first turn. He's going to try to snatch it away.
Contact is looming.
It might be looming in around the corner here as Jeremy Yao goes through. He actually tries to cut in front and does cut in front of Randy Go. Chain reaction has happened here, unfortunately, as Molyono gets himself ping-ponged around in the middle of the field. Massive kerfuffle going on in the second turn right now as all these cars are trying to jostle their way through, and by the time they do, Jeremy Yao is still in lead of the race.
And Sebastian Gunawan stayed out of trouble, managed to stay in P7, avoided the ping pong. It really was a A strange old system. There we go. Aiden Tan is in P6. Alongside him, he's got Sebastian Gunawan. Gunawan, yeah, if he just tracks Aiden Tan, he will win the championship. That's the battle for P6 and P7. Aiden Tan in the red Porsche, and P4 ahead of them. You've got Darwan and Megat Ayman, but Aiden Tan is there, and Gunawan decides, no, forget this conservatism. I'm actually going to try and meander my way through and take a win.
I mean, the spacing is wide enough now, so Gunawan can finally put a proper challenge onto Aiden Tan. Goes around the inside, takes his position back here, and just in time as well to get onto the back straight. Well moved, well done, that move there from Gunawan, as he now has already moved up into 6th place and tries to break the toe, but Aiden Tan, he's not going to let him go without a fight.
The only danger for him is if he gets kicked off. He has got an 18-point lead coming into this 15-17. He's won the title.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
won the title. I'm just trying to work it out. Not officially.
Yeah.
But if Aiden Tan, unless something really, really bad happens, Aiden Tan's got to win. No two ways about that. Unofficially, Sebastian Gunawan has indeed won the title because he did get fastest lap.
And he's still going for it. Goes on the inside of Megat Ayman, but Megat really was not giving him any room at all throughout that entire exchange. That actually allowed Aiden Tan to slip in a hit now, and Aiden Tan might be the one to overtake Megat Ayman by the time he gets to the next turn. Gunawan's going to try to slink around the inside here. It's a 3-wide situation. Aiden Tan goes in first. Gunawan slips onto the side of Megat Ayman as we enter the main straight now. They will be both drag racing their way into that first turn. In the meantime, way up ahead, Randy Go is trying to beat Shazli to the line right now, as this is the battle here for the second place. Zarif Adam has a defensive line going on here as Randy Go tries to make his way through and still will keep his door closed here, but Zarif Adam still sneaking his way through. Stefanis as well tries to follow in behind Shazli there, but cannot quite find its way through. Dharma One is up in front. In the meantime, Gunawan successfully gets himself past Megat Ayman, but now has 1 second gap to Aiden Tan.
Yeah, Aiden Tan in P5. Just a mention of Jeremy Yeo at the front. He's leading. He's been very, very neat and tidy. He's been leading since the start. We're on board here with Dharmawan, who is leading that battle ahead of Randy Go, who was in the lead originally. Randy Go is now down into P3. Aiden Tan is battling. Aiden knows that he's got to win. Just in case there's something catastrophic happens to Sebastian Gunawan, but Gunawan, as you can see, P6 at the moment, happily keeping himself out of any danger. 11:42 to race, 11:42 before we can crown Sebastian Gunawan as champion.
Oh, he's going on the inside there of Aiden Tan, side by side now on the back straight. Aiden Tan not giving him any light of day here as the day is coming to a close here on the Bahrain Circuit. Closing the door in front of Sebastian before they enter the final few sectors here. Aiden Tan is still trying to keep Gunawan at bay, but Gunawan dives on the inside anyway. Aiden cannot quite defend against that. His best hope is to try to outgun him going to the next one. He does close the door onto Gunawan before they get up to the next turn, but can he hold him off enough though? I mean, for Aiden, he knows the calculus is that he has to take the win in this round, but seeing Gunawan constantly hound his rearview mirror must be a bit disheartening here for Aiden Tan.
I'm loving the work also of Megat Ayman behind them while those two are battling away. Megat is just trying to look him. There he is in that famous number 5. Sebastian Gunawan leading. Are we on board with Megat? Yeah, in front of Megat. You've got Gunawan. That's the rear end of Gunawan. And that is the end of the procession. Zarif is there. We are on board with Aiden Tan. He looks behind him. He can see the lights of the champion-elect Gunawan. Aiden, though, would love to add to this week's excellent performances in Daytona, when he picked a high number of points to give himself a championship challenge. It's unlikely to happen. But my, how we'd love to have a victory here today. He's on the 10.
Oh no, Gunawan! Gunawan's got contact with Ayman. This could be great here for Aiden Tan actually, because now Gunawan is down another place here. He's got Bart and Nick as a buffer between himself and Aiden. So a bit of drama now at the 5-minute mark of this race here as Gunawan now dropped a single place.
Oh, he's lucky there, Gunawan. He could have been spun around an awful lot more. I'm saying tentatively he's won the championship because his lead is 18 points and it's max on 17 available, but there's a lot to think about as Randy Go decides to go for a little bit of a slide and lose a bit of time there. Shazli is right on his tail and Aiden Tan is looking there to take advantage of any opportunity. Randy Tan looking a little bit untidy. He's got his breath back now. Now he's driving a little bit tidier. We are on board with Shazli. You look in the rearview mirror and there is Aiden Tan. Getting very, very close.
Ooh, so close, too close for comfort for sure. but Shosley is now sandwiched between these two drivers. The driver behind him chasing a possibility of challenging the championship, and Randy Go just hanging on for dear life. The final podium position here for race number 2. Shosley has got his work cut out for him right now. If he cannot get past Randy Go here, that's going to put him in the clutches of Aiden Tan very soon, as Aiden tries to have a look around the outside, cannot quite find it. Randy Go keeps inside, closed off there for Shosley, so he cannot find a way through either. It is still going to be a 3-way battle now as we enter the second last straight now, going into the main straight. Aiden Tan has now managed to hook himself around the outside of Shosley here. This could be the fight now for P4.
It certainly could. There's a big right-hander coming up, though. That goes against Aiden. Unless he can get alongside, it's going to slightly go against him. Shosley goes on the inside. Bit of contact there. Aiden is still... Oh, well done, Aiden Tan. He had the speed to actually take and hold on despite that right-hand corner. And he got a drag there, Aiden Tan, and he's looking here to get 2 places very quickly. That's Randy Go ahead of him, and it's a right-hand turn ahead of them. Randy Go leaves the braking very late. There's Aiden Tan, and superbly done from Aiden.
Wow, nerves of steel there. Whoa, my goodness, what happened behind Randy Go? Got knocked by Aiden Tan. Effectively takes out Ethan Lau as well as he gets spun around. Both of them rejoining the track in 7th and 8th place. Gunawan has been able to slip by them there, and now it's putting the moves onto Bardin Nick here just behind Sarah Adam. It's now Gunawan. Oh, Bardin Nick goes on the inside, takes out Sarah Adam, and through goes Gunawan.
Gunawan benefiting from 2 contacts there. Stock car racing. It's almost like he had his own team there, getting the rivals out of the way, and Gunawan from a long way down. I thought he'd been taken out when it was actually Ethan Lowe was taken out, but Sebastian Gunawan goes from P7 to P4 after some snooker, wasn't it?
Wow.
It was balls bouncing off each other, pinball.
Yeah, snooker or carom, I would think. Given that Gunawan's from Sri Lanka himself, probably would appreciate that reference. Stefanos Darmawando challenging for the lead of the race, which has been held by Jeremy Yao for the longest time now. But Jeremy under pressure, night number 4 as Darmawan dives on the inside, cuts him off. But can he hold a position though as Jeremy Yao slips on the inside, regains the lead of the race here?
Good driving, Jeremy. Very good driving. Didn't panic under pressure from Stefanos. And Stefanos Darmawan has to be aggressive, maybe not so aggressive. There's 6:45 to go, which is what, best part of 3.5, 4 laps.
But I tell you what, all this battling going on in the front might actually work out well for Aiden Tan's favor, because that will certainly slow them down, allowing Aiden to actually catch them up. 6.5 minutes are still remaining in this race, so still plenty of opportunities here for Aiden yet, perhaps, to challenge for the lead here. But he still has Gunawan just behind him though, so that's another thing to consider.
Yeah, Gunawan, I think Gunawan, well, he's got the championship now, and Gunawan will happily sit in P4. You don't want to jeopardize that. Ethan Lowe, he's had a little bit of a bashing. Mega Damon as well. Yeah. Been a good race, but there has been a very much a stock car, a Donkey Derby kind of feel on occasions.
Well, that's the nature of like single make races, isn't it? Very close racing, but oftentimes a lot of action, but not much actually translating in actual positions taken here. But for Ethan Lau and Randy Go, I mean, unfortunately, the little kerfuffle that happened to them in the first turn has put them down into this position now, and Megat Aima is looking to try to maybe pick up some pieces here. In the meantime, Stefanos Darmawan continuing to keep the pressure going to Jeremy Yao. Is there any chance for this man to crack in the last 5 minutes? I mean, again, he's been leading this race through and through, and only now is he facing immense pressure here for Stefanos.
But he's been very neat and tidy. He's got the right to hold on to the line. You can see Stefanos Darmawan, he's the one who's zigzagging either side. He's the one who's really wearing his tyres out. I'm assuming there is tyre wear of some description on this game, because Darwan is really going left and right, whereas Yo is holding onto his line as he can do. Aiden Tan is closing up as well, and tell you what, who else is closing up? Gunawan's closing up in P4.
Indeed he is. Only 2 seconds behind Aiden Tan right now. Aiden Tan about 1.2 seconds behind Darmawan as the battling continues between our 2 front runners here. That will certainly put both our championship leaders into play sooner rather than later. And let's just hope that Darmawan keeps it neat and tidy in his challenges to Jeremy Yao so far.
Jeremy Yao 3rd in the championship standings. So, and a very clear 3rd as well, because Amit, the youngster, is down in P19, so looks like Jeremy Yao, no matter if he loses or comes in the top 3 here, he will pick up third place in this overall championship.
Oh, I think he's going for the move now. Tries to slink around from the outside and switches immediately inside of Jeremy Yao. Cuts in front of him. Can he close the door? Just barely does, though. Jeremy Yao still has a nose, just a hit, just right around his fender. So they will be side by side, very likely, through the first turn. Edenton is already caught up to the pack as well, so it might be a three-way battle going to the first turn. Look at how close they are as Edenton flashes them ahead, warning them that he might try to find his way through as soon as he finds a gap. But Jeremy Yao, though, has to give way here to Stefan. It's going into the first turn. Edenton gives him a little bit of a love tap behind, but not enough to keep him alongside Stefana's true second turn.
That was really good from Darmawan. He got in front and he just made sure there was no way around him. Even though he was slower, didn't quite get the exit, but he blocked off any attack from Jeremy Yao. That's brilliant driving from Darmawan. He's been building up to that, and another little tap from Edenton, who says, listen, I've got Sebastian Gunawan on my back shoulder. You, Mr. Yo, get out my way.
Stay in third place, I guess. It's this message he wants to give there to Jeremy Yao as he continues to flash him through that first sector. And now entering this downhill section here, he's still behind Sebastian Gunawan, who's also caught up to this pack of cars right now. A four-way battle effectively for the leader race. 3 minutes still remaining in this race here.
Loving this, loving this. 5.5 laps gone. And Gunawan has patiently got himself into a situation where he is genuinely challenging. Look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4 in a line. Darmawan, having worked so hard to get into the lead, he now finds that he's under a little bit of pressure. Edenton has been literally knocking on the back door of Jeremy Yao. And now Sebastian Gunawan, the championship leader, the champion-elect, he's wanting to end this season with a win.
Indeed he will, but then first he needs to get through Edenton. He needs to get through Jeremy Yao, and he needs to get through Darmawan in the next 2.5 minutes. That's quite a tall order, even for someone as talented as Gunawan. As Jeremy Yao goes off, and Edenton slips into third place. Second place, Gunawan into third. But Gunawan now is using this opportunity to get the draft off of the red car of Edenton. Could this be the challenge to finally put the nail in the coffin of Edenton's championship hopes? It might just be. It's contact between the two drivers as they enter turn. Edenton goes a little wide, still is able to rejoin just alongside Gunawan and stays ahead of Gunawan.
Gunawan was disciplined there. I think he knows there would have been a driver penalty against him there because it pushed him off. Jonathan Yao, though, I think mentally he's fatigued from all the work that he did early on. Right then, Gunawan on the back of Edenton. He's got the drag and there's contact. Edenton is pushed a long way wide. Now that could be a disciplinary problem for Sebastian Gunawan, but he's got himself into P3 right again. He waited. He let Edenton come back. I like that from Gunawan. I do like that. That's real awareness.
Yeah, just no sense for him to make this any worse than it needs to be. I mean, the contact was certainly controversial, but he did give the place back there to Edenton, allowing him to rejoin in front of him. So it's still a resumption of this battle. 1 minute still remaining in the second race here. Edenton ahead of Gunawan right now. Darmawan is your current race leader after having taken the place from Jeremy Yao, who went a little bit too wide and allowed all three of these drivers to get through here. And he's now 1.5 seconds clear of Edenton, who still has Gunawan on his tail, still wants to try to finish ahead of him as much as he can.
Yeah, this is good for Darmawan. While these two are battling, while Edenton is trying to hold off. And behind them, Zareth is having a little battle with Bardyanik, who has always been good fun. I tell you what, these drivers, I'm loving the line that the leaders in this group are taking into the chicanes or into the corners, and then they just get bashed out by the ill discipline behind them.
Well, Chelsea is getting closer and closer now to Bardyanik, trying to have a challenge around the outside. But Bardyanik should be able to defend this pretty easily, though, as Chelsea tries to use a switch back there to his advantage. Cannot quite find the speed on the exit, though, so still has to tuck in behind for 6th place. Bardyanik still continues to go uphill right now. I think I'm going to see Randy Go putting a challenge to Mega Ayman just behind him, though. Might be able to pass him around the outside of Mega Ayman, but Mega Ayman still is able to keep a lot of speed on his uphill section. Randy Go is going to try to catch him on the next one, though, and he does get in front of him under braking and comes up into 8th place ahead of Mega Ayman.
We are on the final lap. The leader is on the final lap. And Stefanos Darmawan is the man who is actually crossed the finish line.
Yes, he is. Checkered flag for Dharma 1. Aiden Tan finishes in second place, and Guna 1 finishes just behind him in third. Jeremy Yao comes in fourth place. Martin Nick takes a checkered flag in fifth. Shazli, unfortunately, not able to pass him in the final few moments here. Ethan Lau, having dispatched Megan Iman, moves up into seventh place, and Megan Iman stays ahead of Randy Go to take eighth place, and Randy in ninth. Side by side they were as they were coming across the line there. Wei Shen Wong comes in 10th place, just holding off Muhammad Farhan.
Yeah, Wei Shen Wong, the last of the point scorers, but it's the points for Gunawan as Mulyano drives through. The points for Gunawan will guarantee him the title. A brave effort from Aiden Tam, a lot of fun. Got to feel a little bit for Jeremy Yeo, but his P4 here will probably secure him P3 in the overall championship standings. Bardyanik, good season from Bardya, decent season from Shazli. Some really good racing in the GT4. Congratulations, though, I think, to Sebastian Gunawan, the Indonesian from the RGP team, will be the champion.
Yeah, by our calculations here, he's certainly done more than enough there to secure it, and with that 10-point lead already coming into round 4, I think it's pretty much a done deal there. Congratulations, Sebastian Gunawan. You are a tentative championship winner here for the Copper class. Still have to wait for the official results here, Des, but I think we're pretty confident in calling that for him.
And deservedly so as well. I think in race number 1, where he led from the start, he was fastest in qualifying, led from the start, avoided all the trouble. That's where he did the real hard work. And it was really impressive to see how he got back into a podium finish in race number 2, because he was a long way down. He was down in P7, P8 at one stage, and meticulously worked his way up. That's really good from Gunawan. It's mature, responsible driving, and I'm sure he'll go up a class at the end of this season.
Oh, for sure. I would certainly love to see him toss it up with the bronze class drivers, maybe even the silver and gold class drivers. I certainly feel that he has a talent to challenge the drivers inside of that category there. But nevertheless, fantastic Copper race here. A perfect way to cap up the season for them here, so we congratulate them for their efforts. But now we're going to be taking a short break here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be coming back here, hopefully with an interview with our potential championship winner here in Gunawan. So we'll be right back after these messages.
Pewter is about possibilities. It is an idea made real. Crafted with precision. It can make tradition timeless. Pewter evolves. when allowed to be free, it can captivate you. Pewter is our legacy, and we're keeping the legacy alive. Royal Selangor, since 1885.
Thanks for joining us on eRacing GP Season 15. We've had a very nice finale to the season in the Copper class. We now move on to the Bronze class coming up next. And it's been a fascinating season where our Sri Lankan racer has utterly dominated. But it's still not cut and dried coming into the final race of the season, Victor.
Oh yeah, the Bronze class is incredibly close in terms of its championship battle here. So I think fireworks are probably going to be coming off here as soon as we get the lights out here in the race, because again, we're talking about a 2-point difference between the two championship contenders right now for the Bronze class. So given that both of these drivers have been neck to neck over the last 3, they're even including the drop round, this is going to be a heck of a finale here for the Bronze class.
Let's have a look at the overall championship standings as they are. Faisal Aleem, 64 points. The pride of Sri Lanka, Adam Harith. He goes under the name Mad Manchis. That's the funny part of what he does. So Mad Manchis is there. But let's not count out Rahul Dev, or right the way down to Lewis Sia on 43 points, or even Ian Wong. I reckon, you know, if Faisal or Harith have a tough day at the office, your likes of Lewis or Ian Wong could come into the reckoning.
Indeed, it could. I mean, it's still very tight to the championship from that 4th all the way to 6th. I mean, literally, Rajamir Shalka and Louis Sia are literally tied in points right now. So any kind of difference they can make up in this 4th round would certainly go a long way there.
There's maximum 49 points available if you win both races and fastest in qualifying and get fastest lap. So 49 points is possible. That assumes, of course, that Faisal Aleem doesn't carry on the great season that he's had already.
Indeed, it is. I mean, the Sri Lankan has been the top of the class, but Adam Harith, who fortunately had to skip out the first round, or rather was unable to qualify for that first round, has managed to make a comeback in rounds 2 and 3, and that has allowed him to come now within 2 points of touching Faisal Aleem's championship lead here. So that's certainly an exciting story to follow along as we now jump aboard into the Bahrain circuit here to see our drivers finishing up the last of their practice runs here, and we're going to be going into our 6-minute qualifying very, very soon.
Yeah, it gives us a chance to actually talk about the Bahrain circuit. So if you were watching earlier on, you'll be aware that it's a very fast-flowing circuit. There wasn't as much overtaking as I expected. There was a bit more contact than I expected with the GT4s, but in these vehicles, I'm expecting it to be maybe a little bit closer, a little bit more overtaking, a little bit more slipstreaming, and real use of the long straights here in Bahrain.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of really good overtaking spots here on the Bahrain circuit, and given that it's such a fast track as well, has certainly makes it very likely to create many racing situations throughout the lap. So as we've seen with the Copper class already, even in the single make in the single make race, you know, drivers can certainly gain a lot of positions there just from the other cars battling in front. And given that this GT3 mod pack that we're using here has these cars at a similar power to weight ratio, we're likely to see that same level of close racing going on here in this Bronze class as we did inside the Copper class, even though these cars have all different shells.
Indeed, yes. Looking forward to this, right? Okay, qualifying will be starting in about 30 seconds time. Names to look out for: we mentioned Faisal Aleem, Adam Harith, we mentioned Mad Manchis. He'll be looking out for him. When the qualifying starts, we'll get there. Rahul Dev is a guy that we'll be looking out for as well. At the moment, he's at car number 24 when he's out there. Raja Amral Shakat and Mohammed Shakir, and Ian Wong and Iman Rayan as well. Iman Rayan from Brunei. It's great to have a Bruneian with an outside chance, or, well, a genuine chance of a top 3 berth, an outside chance in the championship.
Yeah, it's really great to see a Bruneian to be able to come into this competition here, being the one that's the only, the 2 Bruneians in this competition here. Of that, Imran Ryan is the one having his position up in the top 7 of the championship so far, and even in our rerun of round number 3, of which we didn't really have the opportunity to get a broadcast out of, eRacing had a bit of a tough time in that race, was able to make up some points, which allowed him to get himself up into this the 7th step of the championship here, but certainly would be hoping actually get a lot more points this time around in this 4th round of the championship.
Okay, qualifying is imminent. It's a 6-minute qualifying round, so you have a chance for an outlap and certainly 1 fast lap, possibly 2. But you certainly want to try and get a time on the board, definitely if you're Faisal or if you're Mad Manchis, aka Adam Harith, and Rahul Dev. I think this is the guy who could be a real spoiler, Rahul.
We're having a lot of jokes actually during the downtime between on the Discord channel. I mean, he's certainly been one of the more active chatters inside of the Discord channel, certainly bringing a lot of the fun and interesting conversations that goes on amongst the crowd here in the eRacing GP.
So we can talk the talk. Can he walk the walk?
Yeah, that's the
question.
question.
Can he race?
That is indeed the million-dollar question for Rahul Dev. Well, it all will start from this point on. Qualifying is going to be upon us. It's going to be a 6-minute qualifying, just enough time for you to get out, do an out lap, put in 1 lap, and then see whether or not you want to try to go for a second one. But that second one, probably going to be your last opportunity to get a time on the board. So as we can see, eRacing from the practice was able to set a 157.7. That's certainly a high bar for everyone else to achieve here. As on average, we're seeing times of 158, from 158.3 all the way down to 158.9, and that's like 9 different drivers in between there. So it's qualifying for this round certainly will be close here, Des.
It certainly will. I'm looking forward to it. It's a night race in Bahrain, so not quite sure the impacts on the drivers, but it looks very nice on the graphics. Got to say that. And that they don't have the real sand, the real desert storm, which Bahrain and Co can sometimes have if the wind is blowing. But we're just about to get into practice. It's a 6-minute practice. We are indeed up and running. So who's going to be first out? Who wants to go and set a time?
Yeah, I think Anwar is going to be the first one to lead the pack out. You already see Louis Sia and Ian Wong trying to fight their way into the first turn already. For these guys, especially in the front, they want to try to get themselves ahead of the pack, preferably, so they have nice clear track in front of them. You can see Matt Munches trying to join in the pack there from the outside. Oh, I think someone just got knocked out there.
Somebody was spun, yeah. That was Anwar, I think, wasn't it?
I think it might be Ian Wong, actually. Yeah, it is Ian Wong. Yeah.
Gosh. And he's one of the ones who was trying to get out there. You're just trying to get a little bit of daylight, a little bit of clear track in front of you, so that you're able to set a fast time.
Yeah, it's still jostling around. We're on board right now with our current championship leader, Muhammad Fawzul Aleen. And you can see just behind him is indeed his rival here, Matt Munches, aka Adam Harith, also falling behind, likely to try to suss him out a little bit during this qualifying session to see where they stack up in terms of that absolute all-out pace here in qualifying.
Qualifying could be important in the championship standings. There's 2 points between Fawzul Aleen for Sim Racing Lanka and Adam Harith, aka Mad Manchis, on the outlap. Where are we on? Yeah, one board with Mad Manchis at the moment. There he goes in the visually distinguishable, what are we calling that? Purple rainbow?
It's like a pink and blue, I believe.
There we go.
Hot pink on one side and a blue on the other side. It's very distinct and can certainly look very different depending on which angle you're viewing it from. But Matt Manchis, together with Fawzul Aleen, who's right now wearing the BWT lighter pink here, going to be 2 very distinctive cars to see out here on track.
Certainly are, and a champion will emerge from that. Rahul Dev. Can we have a close-up on Rahul Dev? Let's see the colours that Rahul... There we go. He also is nice and easy to pick out. The purple is always good to see, particularly from the top shot that we get. And Rahul, I think, could be a real spoiler today in Bahrain, in this category, in this bronze class.
Yeah.
Look out for him. Right then. We're just about going to get into the situation where the fast laps are going on. The first men out, Shakat, Sia, Mokhtar, Afik, Iqbal, Daniel, Jan. They are all looking to set fast times. La Cambra, Azami, Villatura, Gonzalez, all out on the circuit.
Yeah, all out there now, having completed their out lap. It's going to be a flying lap from this point on, but just look at the traffic jam happening here for some of these runners as they have to contend with other drivers out on track, impeding them during their flying lap. That can certainly cost them a few tenths, maybe even more, if they can't successfully negotiate their way past some of these drivers here. So that's certainly a bit of a challenge now for our drivers in this qualifying session, you know, to just find themselves in a good position here to get their flying lap done. And I think in the case of Iqbal, you know, having himself sandwiched between Afik as well as Danielle, it's not going to make it too easy for him to get his flying lap done here.
Interesting. Alim is really at the very tail. Fouls Alim, is he? Is that the one, or have I got the wrong Alim? No.
I think it's a different Alim going on there. Yeah.
Okay, right. I thought he was being really canny and giving himself an awful lot of a tarmac to play with.
So as we have a look on Ian Wong right now, he's well, he's evident. Nice clear track in front of him for sure. I mean, he's on an island of his own here, and that's certainly going to bode well for his chances of getting a good flying lap out of this. We're still yet to see any of the front runners get their way through. I think that's Fauzo Alim still in the middle of the pack right now. I can't quite see who's at first place there. It might be Luis Sia right now. Yeah, that actually is Luis Sia, second car in this pack right now that's coming to the line. So we're going to be seeing the first set of times now being set by our drivers here. Anawa's going to come in first. That's going to be a 158. Quite fast enough there. It's not under the 158, crucially.
Right.
Matches comes right through. 10 of a second faster. No, it actually is like 10 milliseconds faster than Anwar. Take pole position right now, and Muhammad Fauza Alim only able to muster a 158.074, and that's only enough to get himself into third place here, Des.
That's fascinating stuff, but it's only 600ths between Mad Manchis, otherwise Adam Harif, and the championship leader Alim. But if it remains like this, that's 5 points to Mad Manchis, it's 3 points to Alim. They would be level going into the final two races of the season. If it remains the same.
If it remains the same, that's a big if there for sure. As Shamin Mokhtar from Pepeka has somehow been able to qualify himself up into fourth place now, only a 10 of a second behind Matt Manchester. So I told you this qualifying is going to be very close here, Des, as indeed we're seeing exactly how close it can be between these drivers. Ian Wong, despite getting spilled out early on during his outlap, has managed to get himself up into fifth place here.
Rahul Dev, what's Rahul Dev done?
Rahul Dev, I don't see him on the board right now.
Absolutely.
I think he might not have been able to set a time yet. It's him only having an outlap right now.
Crisis, Rahul, crisis.
Yeah, 30 seconds still remaining. I think he might have gone off the track, which would have deleted his lap time. So he's under immense pressure now to make sure this lap counts here.
Him and Ryan, the new fastest lap, 157. The first man inside, 158. So he will be sharing top spot, first row with Adam Harif.
Yeah, could be the spoiler here in this championship battle right now. I mean, Alim has now been bumped down into the second row here, right alongside Anwar, so he might have another chance to try to improve upon his time here, given that he's out of the track, and I don't think he's having any impedance in front of him. He's going to come across the main straight right now. Is going to be able to improve his time. Raja Milshak in the meantime puts himself in a provisional second place. Alim slows down before the line.
Wow, third.
Interesting.
Third fast, third row of the grid for the championship leader, Nil Point. No points.
Well,
so Rahul Dev
moves up into first place there.
He's a spoiler, this kid. He's a spoiler.
He's a spoiler indeed in the last minute. Actually puts in a time enough to put him on the front row right now, barring anyone else on track here that's going to be able to challenge his time. I think we see Fatih Arnawar still outside there, still going on a running lap here, has not taken a checkered flag yet. Ian Wong's already stopped on the side of the track, so effectively his qualifying is done. Malubai will be coming across the line. Will he improve his time? Don't think so. That doesn't seem like a take here for Malubai as he takes the checkered flag. Sorial just outside of the top 10 there with 158.2. So bear in mind, you have to be under 158.2 if you want to be able to even think about sitting on that top 10.
Rahul Dev picks up 5 points. That moves him on to 61. Mad Manchis picks up 2 points. He's on 64. Championship leader Fawzl Alim, no points. He's on 64. 3 points. 3 points separate the top three coming into the final two races. This is what eRGP is all about. It's great fun. That's why we've given you 15 seasons. That's why the riders and the racers get involved so much. Great stuff.
It's going to be great here, ladies and gentlemen, as drivers are now getting into their final setups here. The countdown to race number 1 here for the bronze class is underway. I mean, with Raul Dev and Eamon Ryan, both drivers not inside the top 2 here for the championship, now going to be starting in front of Matt Munches. Aleem is now in 7th place, so he's got quite a lot of cars to contend with later on as we go into T1. So be interesting to see how he's going to try to play this one out, especially given how close his championship battle is with Matt Munches.
Perhaps practicing for the reverse grid race. Maybe that's his tactic. A very bizarre tactic.
It certainly is.
Right then, but Rahul Dev, you know, I had this little sneaking feeling that the guys that we're not talking about would be the ones who'd really make an impact. And Rahul Dev, you said he left it to the last minute. He didn't. He left it to the last 10th of a second at his time. It was super, super close, but also super, super quick. The only guy inside 158.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, drivers are now lined up on the grid. We got Raul Dev in the front row alongside Iman Ryan from Brunei. Rajamil Shaukat takes the second row alongside Matt Manches, aka Adam Harif. Mama Shakir featuring Fatih Anwar takes 5th position alongside Louis Sia. We got Muhammad Fawza Aleem, the current championship leader, sitting in 7th place right now alongside Azib Shami Mokhtar, Ian Wong, and James Ryan Malabai rounds it up in the top 10.
Right, we really need to see how Fawzal gets off the line. We will be underway in less than 15 seconds. And the man on the 4th row of the grid, in the purple, he's just on the right-hand side. You can see him there, Rahul Dev, Shaukat, Anwar and Aleem on the right-hand side of that Bahrain circuit. Red lights are off, we are underway. And Fawzal's off to a good start. Rahul Dev is off to an absolute flyer. Matt Manches is left behind and then comes through on the inside. But it's Rahul Dev who goes into the first corner nice and clean. It's Fawzal we're really looking at for. Fawzal. Ooh, Matt Manches is there. Louis Sears got up there. Where's the championship leader? Ooh, who's that coming off? Malabai, I think, went off. Yeah. Gonzalez is off. But there is Fawzal, stays in P5.
Stays in P5, actually made up a couple of places now. It's tucked in behind. Fatih Anwar is going to try to chase him while Matt Munches continues to go ahead here in 3rd place. Rajamil Shaukat is now putting the pressure onto Raul Dev here for the lead of this race as they enter now into the technical twisty section downhill now through the Bahrain International Circuit and now into the most technical part, which is the infield section of this track.
Admiral Sikat, he's another one who's not a million miles away. He was on 46 points, so unlikely to be a championship contender unless he gets a victory here. But Rahul Dev, terrific work from him. Behind them, Matt Manches did really well. I thought he got off to a poor start, Matt Manches, or Adam Harrit to give him his proper name. But he managed to force his way on the inside of the circuit and keep out of trouble. He's in P3.
Yeah, Muhammad Fawza Aleem, the current championship leader, is now still sitting in that 5th place, trying to close that gap between himself and Anwar, while Manches is trying to do the same to Raja Shaukat, who has seemed to have let off that pressure onto Raul Dev that we saw from earlier on in the lap, and now is under pressure from Adam Harif now from behind.
Manches, Harif leads the way. They don't like it when they give themselves a name on the circuit, but never mind. We've got to give him 2 names just to tell you who it is. Ian Wong got himself onto P7. How about Iman Ryan? Where did Iman Ryan get?
Iman Ryan is actually out of the top 10 right now.
Yeah, he was spun around, wasn't he, on that first corner?
Yeah, he was, and unfortunately he's now going to have to fight through Alonso in order to be able to get himself up into 10th place. In the meantime, Matt Munches, it seems like he's got a bit of slipstream now off of Rajamil Shaukat. He's now looking to see where he's going to try to make that move. Rajamil Shaukat hugs the inside, so it's not allowing Matt Munches the easy way around. He's going to have to do it around the outside. Cannot quite find the speed though as Rajamil Shaukat closes the door on him before they even enter P2.
Fawzal Rahim comes through, Fawzal Anwar comes into P4 at that same moment while we were looking at Matt Manches, but he's not got things his own way, Fawzal. He's going to have to hold on, and he's just being caught, Fawzal. But he's got the line coming into that right-hand corner. Abel Holt, hold on. Ahead of them, Mad Manchis makes another move. Somebody slipped off. It's
I
not
think
one of
Ian
the
Wong.
leaders.
Yes, Ian Wong has got slipped off there. Matt Manchis continues to keep the pressure on Rajamil Shaukat, while Aleem stays ahead of Anwar after having successfully made that move on that first turn. Matt Manchis now looking a little bit out of shape there as Rajamil is able to keep himself up securely into that second place.
Rahul Dev is loving the fact that the players behind him are fighting and scrapping and snarling and biting because he has serenely given himself a 2-second lead, Rahul Dev.
Yeah, he certainly has taken the opportunity to just pull further and further away from the rest of the pack, and now has built up a good, comfortable buffer now to control the race with. Malubai right now is actually caught up to Anwar, might be able to try to keep him challenged there, and this could be good news for Aleem because now he can fully focus on the guy in front of him, which is Matt Munches, still being held back somewhat by Rajamil Shaukat, but only half a second separate these three drivers though, so I think sooner or later it will turn into a three-way battle.
Wow, Rahul Dev, at the moment, leading the way and going away. 2 seconds clear. Shaukat has managed to hold off the challenge from Mad Manchis, aka Adam Harith, just for now. Because I think Harith is looking behind him at Fawz Aleem and saying, what are we doing? How do we play this strategy? Because it's a two-race strategy they've got to think. It's just a two, well, no, they're level on points coming into this after qualifying. You've just got to finish ahead of your main rival.
Yeah, I think Aleem's going to have a look on the inside right now. Tries to outbreak Matt Munches. Actually slips on by. Can he hold a position though? Goes a little bit wide in the exit. Matt Munches is going to try to fight back on the next turn, but cannot quite find the speed through the next two turns there. Will still stay on the bumper though, as Matt Munches now tries to drag race him on the straight here. Getting up into the fourth corner now. Matt Munches goes for the dive on the inside. Can he make it work though? Fawz Aleem closes the door just in nick of time to hold off Matt Munches and stays in P3.
That's championship driving there from Fawz Aleem. I tell you what, he was under immense pressure, held his line. I think he was anticipating a little bit of contact, but contact between these two would be catastrophic because it would give Rahul Dev a clean opportunity to extend his lead at the top of the standings, as he is at the moment, in race position anyway.
Yeah, Anwar has not been able to catch up to the other two drivers ahead of him, and that's allowed a three-way battle to form now between himself, Malubai, as well as Azib Shami Mokhtar, who currently are fighting for P5, 6, and 7 respectively, while Matt Manchis continues to give chase here to Fawz Aleem. The three-way battle going on here is kind of fascinating to see here because I think Mokhtar is held back a little bit by Malubai. As you can see up the uphill section, Malubai is actually getting slower and slower, and that's putting himself at risk of being taken by Malubai, by Mokhtar in his next few turns.
Fascinating in the middle of the grid. As Iman Ryan can't recover from a catastrophic start. He was so quick in qualifying, but the Bruneian is finding himself just in the middle there. He's got Adam Daniel and Afiq either side of him.
Yeah, both of them going to have to go in a single line position right now. 9 minutes still remaining here. I think Azib Mokhtar is looking to try to make a move onto Malubai now on the main straight. Just dives on around the inside here. This could be good now as he stays alongside Malubai into the braking zone. We'll try to outbrake him into that first turn. It's in the perfect position to try to take the apex first, but Ryan Malubai carries a lot more speed around the outside and takes his position back by the time we get into turn 2.
Malubai just believed in his line there. Knew that he had a good drive out of it and was able to hold off the challenge of Mokhtar. I'm sure another challenge will come from Mokhtar. A little bit of slipstream there. But Malubai once again decides, listen, this is my line. I've got every right. You're going to have to knock me off the course.
Yeah, I think Iman Ryan right now trying to challenge for that 11th place. He's been stuck behind Amirul Afiq for the longest time right now. Has a long way before he's going to be able to make it up into 10th place. They've been trading positions a little bit earlier on, just off camera. Let's see whether or not Iman Ryan can at least get some consolation points and perhaps a chance to actually make up those points in race 2, given that there is that top 10 reverse grid that will be applied.
Oh, a little bit of a coming together. Malubai. Oh, Rahul Dev! Rahul Dev has dropped right the way down to P7. Catastrophe for Rahul Dev down in P8.
And
he must have slipped off and been bashed all over the place. He's back on the circuit, but from P1 to P8, it means that Matt Manchis moves into P3, Aleem into P2, but Rahul Dev, that could cost him the title.
Yeah, that could cost him severely, and now he's just locked in this battle here. A lot of traffic between himself and the rest of the top three. As now, Rajamil Shaukat is the leader of the race. Aleem and Munches are continuing to battle each other. They're now side by side here as we enter the final turn. Matt Munches around the outside, Aleem around the inside. Ooh, Matt Munches just outbreaks him a bit, but goes a little bit wide. Aleem is now trying to catches him just as he comes out of the corner, and now Aleem is still ahead.
I'm not sure that Adam Harris really needs to try this hard at this stage. I think he's risking too much there because he nearly went off, and rather than getting the place, he nearly lost the place. He is level on points. There will be opportunities here in Bahrain. Players will make mistakes, as we saw there. Coming into where is he? Rahul Dev is still down in P8. Oh dear. I'd love to know what happened to him because he had a comfortable lead. He was being caught, but he must have made a mistake. Slid off, got caught.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, there's no way to drop down 7th place just out of nowhere. Certainly, he must have made a mistake, had to rejoin the track there, and unfortunately, has found himself all the way far back from where he was in the lead of this race. Matt Munches, though, he's going to try his very best to keep up with Fauza Aleem here, as Rajamil Shaukat now starting to build a 1-second lead ahead of Aleem, who has to defend heavily against Adam Harif through these last few sectors.
Really is good, this. And to be fair, we've not mentioned Shaukat really, have we? He's been very, very strong, very consistent. He put pressure on, but now the pressure is on from Aleem and Harith. But Shaukat has just got to make sure that he takes his line. Again, this Bahrain circuit, there's plenty of opportunity to be overtaken, but there's also, provided you get the line, you can get good drives out and you can defend your positions as well.
Exactly. I mean, defense is very, very strong in this class of cars, even because of how close they are in terms of their actual performance. I mean, again, I've mentioned that the power to rate ratio is identical in these cars because the power plant inside the car data is exactly the same for all of these different car models. The only difference between these cars is just a slight variation in the size of the tires. Some of these cars have bigger front tires, bigger rear tires, and they also have gearing that adjusts accordingly. But effectively, this is kind of like a spec series. It's just that the cars have very subtle differences, and those subtle differences can make a big difference in how these drivers approach their races.
Okay, Fauza Aleem is approaching his race and trying to get on the back there of Amrul Shaka. Now this time, he might get a drive out. He might get a little bit of support. There he is, on board with Fauza Aleem. Championship leader coming into this and overtakes here. Shaukat, now then, is this a lead? He's side by side. Shaukat defends on that right-hander, but they're coming into a left-hander, and Shaukat's just been able a little bit of contact. And that means Matt Manches can try and come around the right-hand side, and they take each other out. Matt Manches, there will be some disciplinary problems there. Matt Manches could find himself in problems, but Fauza Aleem is down to P10.
Oh man, and Malubai, I think, has gone past Matt Manches. Goes off the track yet again, so he loses a place there, even to someone who was way behind him the whole time. And Mama Fauza Aleem now outside of the points by the time he rejoins the race. This is a catastrophe right now for the Sri Lankan, but there's still 3 minutes left. Can he find his way to get up into 10th place and perhaps try to bring the revenge in race number 2?
Stewards are going to be busy tonight, I tell you. There'll be protests galore about that one. This is not going to be decided until, I don't know, midnight on Sunday. Lufti, in the meantime, moves into P8. Fauza Aleem down into P11. Oh, my word.
Yeah, he's going to try. He does get himself through this pack of cars right now, so supreme moves from him to get up into the points here. And if he does stay here, he will start in the front row in race number 2, and that could prove crucial here in this championship battle with Matt Munches, who is not able to get close enough to Malubai yet, with 3 minutes still remaining. No doubt must have sustained a bit of damage with that contact, and certainly must have felt a little bit rattled right now, because that contact between himself and Aleem, that's certainly going to be grounds for protest, I feel.
It certainly will, but there's such a big difference. Even if he's given a 5-second, 10-second penalty, what that's going to be well, in this race, it's going to be 5 or 6 places, which could be significant.
Oh, and look at who's trying to challenge our
Iman.
championship leader. Iman Ryan cuts in front of him. Ariel Alpha's going to try to follow behind, but Halim is not giving this up easily, though. Tries to keep up with Iman Ryan through the next turn. Cannot quite get him there, but might get him on the exit of turn 3. Side by side now as they gun their way towards turn 4. Iman Ryan now has to concede the place there to Fawza Alim as Fawza Alim stays in P10. Oh, but a contact there, spinning out. Fawza Alim one more time.
Oh my word. The abode of peace is not a peaceful abode. Iman Ryan bashing into the back of Fawza Alim, who is, for the second time, pushed way, way, way back. Again, there could be a protest, but that's 2 big knocks that the Sri Lankan Fawza Alim has received. One from Adam Harith, one now from Iman Ryan. But it doesn't really matter. He is in a really, really tough spot. Iman goes through, even in virtual, you can see he looks a little bit embarrassed by that one.
Yeah, I mean, now he's stuck back in where he was early on in this race, P12. Now this time around having to fight Ngoyong Jin here to try to take P11. Cuts in front of him by the time to get into the uphill part. Can he stay there? I think he will, as Ngoyong Jin doesn't seem to have enough speed on exit. In fact, Ngoyong Jin's already been caught up by Danielle, who's having a look on the inside there as he comes up into the uphill section. So, well, things gone from bad to worse here, unfortunately, for our championship leader, Alim, who is now in 15th place, way outside of points, way out of any hope of getting into a reverse grid situation for race 2.
Stewards, you're going to be busy tonight. As Alim, well, gosh, even if the stewards get involved, it doesn't help Fawza Alim, because he can't get those places back.
Right.
It's just the people who barged him out will be put there, and that means that Mad Manchester must hope that there's nothing too serious against him. Where's Rahul Dev in all of this? Rahul Dev's got himself back up into P7. Amarul Shakir, well, I tell you what, Amarul comes into championship reckoning. If he was to pick up 25 points here, he gets closer. Gosh.
Wow, I mean, it's so hard to just keep up with what's happening on our screens right now. 25 seconds still remaining as Raja Amir Shaukat so far has been one of the few drivers who have actually been able to avoid most of the drama that's unfolded in this bronze class first race, and now is looking pretty much on his way to take victory here in race number 1. You got James Ryan Malabai following closely behind him, about 1 second off. He's still got Matt Munches, perhaps pending a few protests his way, but will most likely finish this race in P3.
And with the championship lead, if our mathematics is right, behind them, Azib Shamir Mokhtar. So many can come into this. What's Ian Wong been doing? I'm curious to see if Rahul Dev is able to pick up anything. We are on the last lap. The leader is on the last lap, and there's we're into sector 3. There is Rahul Dev in P7. He's got Anwar and Lacombra ahead of him. Oh, he'd love to pick up a place if he possibly can in this last half lap.
Indeed he will. We're already on the final lap here. I think we're going to see Raja Amir Shaukat coming around and closing in on that final turn. We have a bit of a battle going on a three-way here for the 5th place. At the moment, Raja Amir Shaukat is now turned into the final corner and will be ahead of Malubai and will most likely take the win of the race. Just needs to have the checkered flag here, and that will confirm it as Raja Amir Shaukat comes across the line. He takes the checkered flag in race number 1. James Ryan Malabai takes 2nd place, Matt Munches in 3rd, Azib Shami Mokhtar in 4th place, Alonso Marcus Lacombra now in 5th place, Muhammad Shakir Fitri Farki Anwar in 6th place. Rahul Dev managed to make his way back up into 7th place as Rifat Lufti makes his way into 8th place. Gentle Rial from New Zealand makes it up into 9th place, and Amir Afik makes his way into 10th.
Fawza Alim, 14, 2 points, and a very, very angry hat. I tell you what, he will be... I'm fuming on his behalf, to be fair.
Oh, wow.
Because he was taken out not once, but twice.
Yeah, just back-to-back unluckiness for him.
Unluckiness?
Unluckiness or maliciousness?
Agent. I
Oh,
tell
no.
you. Let's talk conspiracy theories.
Oh, boy. Got to take foil hats on now, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, I mean, it's... What a dramatic way for things to have unfolded here in race number 1.
And he doesn't benefit from the reverse grid race because it's only the top 10 who reverse.
Exactly.
So he'll still be down in P... what was he? He'll be 15. So he'll be on P15 on the grid. P14 on the grid. Oh, that's catastrophe.
I mean, one good news perhaps is that Matt Munches after the reverse grid will be a lot closer to him the next time around. So if Aleem could play his cards right and perhaps try to cut ahead of Matt Munches, maybe he may be able to stem the bleeding somewhat. But again, with the championship already being tied already from qualifying, it's going to be a very, very tough one here for Fawza Aleem, and certainly I don't know exactly what he can try to do from this point on to try to salvage this run.
Provisionally, he's 14 points adrift of Mad Manchus before any protest. Say Mad Manchus, Adam Harith, gets a 5-second penalty. He'll drop down to P8 or P9. He'll lose significant number of points. That still doesn't help, because that means that Rahul Dev comes back into the picture. Because Rahul Dev and Raja Amral Shakit, who won, they come into the picture. We have got a 4-way potential championship here.
Yeah, gonna be a crazy, crazy way to cap things off here for our bronze class. I mean, so hard to predict right now what will happen from this point on. I mean, with Fawza Aleem being right in the middle of the pack, he's certainly going to be racing with a lot of fire in his heart right now to try to make up for the disappointment as race number 1. And then furthermore, I mean, for Matt Munches himself, you know, I would say, just judging from our view from the sidelines here, that certainly looks like
that's a penalty.
That's a penalty. Yeah, that will certainly be a penalty on his part. So is that going to affect his performance now going to race 2, knowing that he has that penalty hanging over his head? I mean, he's still going to have to run through in this reverse grid now. Could potentially try to challenge Mokhtar, Lakambra, and Anwar for some points here, but Rahul Dev, by virtue of actually having a clean race, is now going to be starting on the second row. He could be the dark horse in this championship here.
Still, absolutely still. We mentioned him before, 50 seconds to go. Rahul Dev will be on the second row of the grid. Let's go through the grid if we can, the top 10. Anwar Afiq on the front row alongside New Zealand's Jem Sorial. On the second row, Lufty and Rahul Dev, who was leading when he was bashed out. Anwar in P3 alongside Lakambra, best name on the circuit, Filipino. Mokhtar alongside Mad Manchus, the bad boy Adam Harith, and then Malabai and Shokat, who, I tell you what, do not count this cat out either. You go right the way down with just 17 seconds to go, down in P14. This is the man who will be angry. Angry. Does he take it out on the track? Can he control himself?
Well, we'll have to see. Red lights are going on now, Des. So we are now running into race number 2.
Reverse grid race is underway. It's Soriao who's got off to a good start. Amral Afik a little bit slow. Soriao is there. Behind them, Rahul Dev has also made a solid start in P4 at the moment. What kind of contact coming into this tight first bend? Fairly disciplined. Soriao spins out. Takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with him. Mad Manchus moves up into P4. That's significant. Where else? Aleem only into P13. I'm looking for Rahul. Rahul, oh, he's dropped right the way down, Rahul.
Yeah, Rahul Dev all the way out. I don't even see him on the leaderboard right now as Lufti takes the lead of the race. He's pulling way ahead. Amir Afik stays in second place right now, but he's under challenge from Lakambra. Gets a bit of contact on the downhill, and Afik is now off the track. Tries to rejoin, is able to rejoin ahead, but goes way too wide, allowing Lakambra through into second place. Matt Manchus and Adil Mokhtar follows behind him, making it third and fourth, as Amir Afik now sits in fifth place.
Mad Manchus, that's the name to look out for, though, the man in P3. Adam Harith, ostensibly potential champion. He theoretically is leading the championship, but pending the steward's inquiry. Rahul Dev, well, he is on the circuit, but down in P23. In all that chaos on the first corner, it's such a tough first corner. Rahul Dev was bashed away and lost a good grid position, and he's down in P23.
Battle right now for 7th place, though, as Luisia and Kuraki Suguha are now battling each other. I think Luisia unfortunately gets bumped onto the outside. That's putting him now under attack here from our previous championship leader here,
Fawza
Aleem.
Yeah.
He's now moved down to 8th place here, so he's inside the points. Could be potential for him to try to make up some places, but Manchus is still 5 positions ahead of him, so he still has a long battle to go here in this next 13 minutes.
Another person who really suffered on that first lap, on that first corner, Shaukat. He's up into P16 now, but that's out to the points. Remember, he won race number 1. Raja Amral Shaukat, the Malaysian. he would have been so optimistic and confident having got the win. There's Fawz Lalim right then. Fawz Lalim is looking to try to get ahead of Lewis Siha into P7. So Fawzel's not given this one up. Mad Manchis hasn't given this one up. In fact, Mad Manchis is looking on the inside of Lacambra, and Mad Manchis goes through into P2.
Yeah, no doubt trying his level best to at least make up some good points here and hopefully some cleaner racing going on here for Matt Munches as Lufti continues to stay in the lead of this race. I think Afiq and Ryan right now caught in a bit of a tangle here and right in the middle of the field here as they enter into the infield section. Lacambra is still keeping up close with Matt Munches. Going to try to actually make a move here, I think, in turns 9 to 10. If he can just find his way past, can't quite. Still has to tuck it behind Matt Munches throughout.
Lacambra, who lost the place to Mad Manchis earlier on as they come. This is the inside straight. There's lots of straights here. And then they come into the technical left, right, big right, and then the two long straights to take us. Gives a chance for Fawz Lalim. Under pressure from Malabai. He's a good racer, Malabai. He can be quick. He's often in good positions and something catastrophic happens to him.
Yeah, right now it's just doing very well to keep the pressure up on our Sri Lankan here. So hopefully to try to keep him motivated right now to continue his charge upwards. But then again, 10 minutes still remaining in this race, so still quite a while to go as we are just about completed the first third of our race number 2. Bit of a three-way battle going on right now, maybe perhaps a four-way as Lacambra all the way down to Iman Ryan are within half a second of each other. As you can see, the whole possession of cars now coming across the main line. Lufti still in the lead of this race as he enters the first turn. So still very close, still could be anyone's race here as Amir Afiq makes a dive on the inside of Azim Mokhtar and has successfully taken 4th place away from him.
Sadly, this isn't the real story, is it? This is the story of the race, but it's not the story of the championship. As you're looking at this, Mad Manchis, so if Mad Manchis picks up 25 points, 15 points, maximum points in the reverse grid race, it gives him a really big lead, and any penalties he receives from race number 1, they could be overcome. But I think Mad Manchis needs to make sure he has a big win here. Fawz Lalim has just got to get as high up as he possibly can. It's only 3 points at the moment for P8. Rahul Dev is way down. Poor old Rahul. Leading, comfortably leading midway through race number 1. Then, my word, whichever gods he is praying to, they did not give him any service.
No, they certainly did not. And unfortunately, the chaos that happened in that first opening of race number 2, he's certainly one of the biggest losers out of that, unfortunately. As Iman Ryan right now continues to try to chase Mokhtar. Still a very tight battle going on around the top 5 here as Lacambra at the moment seems to have caught up to where Matt Munches is towards his final sector. So perhaps he's keeping the pressure going to see whether he can try to regain the place for Matt Munches. Iman Ryan in the meantime still stuck behind Azim Mokhtar, about half a second behind. Malubai is currently following in the coattails of our Sri Lanka's Fawz Lalim, who is now caught up to Lewis Siha. Might be thinking about making a move now for 7th place here, Des.
Yeah, we're into the, what are we, 9 minutes to go, so we're approaching halfway. Fawz, this has been a very mature drive from him. Remember, he started down in P14. He will have had anger all over him, but this has been a good, consistent drive. He missed everything in Daytona. That was his, that's the round that he can lose. It's been a real nightmare for him. He's not close enough to get on the back there of Siha, not yet. But bide his time. If you can get top 5, maybe more, then you've got a chance. You've got a chance, but you've just got to work your way patiently forward.
I think I just saw Iman Ryan get a pass on the Azim Mokhtar. Mokhtar is still close enough. Can he make a counter-attack? He's going to try to dive around the inside of Iman Ryan. Regains his position, but Iman Ryan should be able to catch him back on the switchback there as he goes side by side with him in the downhill section. Iman Ryan now back up into 5th place here.
A lot of people try that inside move, but the switchback nearly always works coming down the hill, but
I think we're having a challenge for the lead here. Matt Munches and Lufti as well as Lacambra now in a 3-wide situation for the lead of this race. Matt Munches right in the middle there now. Lacambra has to back out of it, but Matt Munches goes wide completely. Lufti is back in the lead, but only momentarily as Lacambra comes to the inside and goes through to take the lead of the race.
Yeah, Lacambra, who won the reverse grid race in Daytona. And look at that, right on the tail there. You now got Lufti, who went from 1 to 3 in a single corner. All of that came from Manchis, really being very, very aggressive. Took them in 3 abreast into the corner, and it was Lecombra who came out with the best line and the lead.
Yeah, Manchis now trying his again. Try to go around the outside, goes off track one more time here as he attempts to keep up with Lecombra through this corners here. Lufti is going to have to watch only from behind as Matt Manchis now tries to go alongside here. This is still a battle for the lead of this race. Matt Manchis is in perfect position on the inside, but cannot quite outbrake Lecombra in his AMG GT3.
Yeah, good braking. Lecombra did really well there. Are there track limits penalties here? Because Matt Manchis is spending a lot of time off the racing line. He's gone wide on a couple of occasions. He could face penalty problems once again, but Lecombra is the man who has the lead. Inside the final 7 minutes, Lecombra under pressure. That's great from Harith. That time he slams on the brakes. There's smoking, and he's spun. Manchis is spun and goes back to 7th or 8th, maybe even worse, 9th. And look at that, Fawzal Alim comes past him into P6. Oh, wow.
Well, you still have your tinfoil hat on? I mean, is that karma? Maybe? Well, regardless of what the case is, it's still a battle going on for the front of the grid here as Lufti and Lecombra continues to dogfight their way through that first sector. Lecombra is still attempting to get around the inside now. It's going to be forced going around the outside of Lufti here, but watch out for Amir Afik. He's sensing an opportunity here as he goes alongside Alonso, trying to fight him all the way towards the 10th turn. Lufti is going to try to keep himself ahead here as Alonso closes up the gap. Amir Afik not able to find his way through as Lecombra stays ahead of him, and Lufti stays ahead of the 2 of them.
Well done from Lufti, to be fair. 9th in the overall championship standings, another of the fine Malaysians. There's a lot of good racers. P4, Iman Ryan, the pride of the abode of peace. Not so peaceful here. Mokhtar behind him. Behind him, you got Fawzal Alim.
Yeah, just how quickly the fortunes changes for him. Matt Manchis' unfortunate excursion has now put him 2 places behind Alim right now. So effectively, that's whatever lead that he was hoping to have at the end of race 2, that's all gone to naught here. As Lecombra now seems to have a run up against Lufti, actually backs out and stays behind him in under braking. Amir Afik thought of taking a peek on the inside, decides to stay tucked in behind these 3 cars and hopefully try to benefit off of the slipstream that both of these cars are providing in front of him as Lecombra closes in onto without Lufti. Still is able to get alongside. He will have the inside of the first turn, but it's that second turn that's going to be all important here in Bahrain here.
Yeah, that's good from Lecombra. Lufti, again, he's very good. He's left the braking late again. Lufti is tagged from behind, but Lecombra gets away. Lufti does well. Amol Afik is sensible in that he doesn't go for it. P6 Fawzal Alim as he goes off the racing line. That's very, very competitive there. Malabai is having a lot of fun out there. Matt Manchis is down back in P8. Oh, there is Malabai. Manchis is closing in. Fawzal Alim will be aware of what's going on behind him. Finish as high as you can. Get as many points as you can. And hope the stewards go in your favour. This championship will be decided by the stewards' decisions.
So it's always the hardest kind of thing to accept as a driver, right? When you cannot let the results on track speak for themselves. It has to come down to a steward's decision, unfortunately, due to the incidents that Matt Manchis himself has caused here, and as well as incidents that have happened throughout Alim's race here. So plenty of things to be deliberated about at the end of this, but with 3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining here, all that matters is how they finish on track. Lecombra, currently your race leader here, has successfully taken that place from Lufti after a long and protracted dogfight that saw Matt Manchis bumped all the way down to 8th place. Amir Afik looking to try to take this podium position ahead of Iman Ryan, who low-key has had quite an incredible recovery here, finished just outside of points in race 1, and now is looking like just within touching distance of the podium here in race 2.
Yeah, this will give Iman Ryan an awful lot of confidence. It's good to be there or thereabouts. It means that you know that you can do it. Fawzal Alim looks on the inside there of Mokhtar. He does need more points. It's a reverse grid race. There's not as many points available. It's 15, 12, 10, 8. And then you get to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You want to be in the double digits if you possibly can, if you're Fawzal Alim. Also, if you're Matt Manchis, you want to be in the points as well. Here is Fawzal. Nice little drag on the back of Adam Mokhtar. And Faisal, oh, that's beautifully done. That is, oh, Mokhtar. Can he hold it? Yeah, Faisal gets the place. Faisal up into the top 5.
Yeah, wow. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And unfortunately for Mokhtar, his trouble's not quite done because Malobai, he smells the blood in the water now as he tries to take 6th position away from him from the inside, taking the apex before the other AMG DD3 and moves up into 6th place behind Muhammad Faisal Ali.
Behind them, there's a couple. Mokhtar and Mad Manchis are both in it. Mad Manchis, Adam Harrip. Leader on points, theoretically, before the stewards get involved, coming into this race. And he's still, by my reckoning, leading the championship now, but it depends how many places he loses in race 1. That will be decided later. Sorry to keep on going about that, but that's the story. Behind him, you've got Daniel.
Lufti getting knocked out there, but Amiral Afik will only be able to rejoin the track just behind Matt Munches. It looks like Afik moves up to 2nd place, and even Ryan, just like that, has just had 3rd position, the podium position, handed to him on a silver platter.
And Faisal Alim picks up extra points as well there, to be fair, as did Manchis. The other championship contenders, Shakat, 17th, out of it. Rahul Dev, 13th, out of it.
Yeah, I mean, all this is just coming into a close now. Muhammad Faisal Alim able to recover now into 4th place. This could be enough, maybe, but again, it still depends on the steward's decision from what happened between himself and Matt Manchis in that first race. So now it's just up to Alim to try to make the most of this, as Imran Ryan now looks like he wants to try to challenge Afik for 2nd place here. He's already got a bit of a slipstream. Tries to have a peek around the outside. Miro Afik has to take defensive line. No, he switched around the inside. Afik tries to block him up. Cannot hold him up enough as Imran Ryan now forces his way through, but the contact spins him around, and Alim is through into 3rd place.
Oh, Imran Ryan, what were you doing? You didn't have to go for P2. Instead, Faisal comes through, can pick up some valuable points. Comes through into P3. Matt Manchis moves into P5. Luis Sia is there. There is Azib challenging Matt Manchis. Are we on the final lap? No, there's 17 seconds remaining until we move on to the final lap. This is great stuff. Lacombra, meantime, has a 3-second lead. Lacombra looking for back-to-back reverse grid race wins.
Indeed, I mean, they did that in the rerun of round number 3, and to see lightning strike twice for him, it's just a shame that he's not in the running when it comes to the actual championship, but to see him actually get these race wins certainly will be someone to watch out for in future editions of the Global Edition, as Mokhtar continues to try to close in onto Matt Manchis. Might be the final battle here, as the last time has already been called here, ladies and gentlemen, so as soon as Lacombra comes across the line, it will be checkered flag time.
So Lacombra can't see him doing anything because there's no cars around him. So nobody will do anything. Amrul Afik, this is a good performance from him. Mad Manchis trying to get through, looks into P5. Mokhtar and Manchis really having a pop at each other. But Manchis works really hard there. Amrul Afik, meantime, Faisal Alim is trying to pick up some additional points. Every point could be crucial.
Still trying to fight him to get into 2nd place. He's going to come across here as Lacombra now comes through, and he's already on its way to the main straight now. Bobadee still fighting, and Afik still stays ahead. Alonso Marcus Lacombra from the Philippines, though, he will be taking the checkered flag. Amiral Afik takes the checkered flag ahead of Muhammad Faisal Ali, who takes 3rd place in this race. It's certainly a place he did not expect to be in. James Ryan Mileby takes 4th. Azib Shami Mokhtar in 5th. Matt Munches finishes in 6th position behind him, and Luis Sia takes up 2nd place. Adam Daniel takes 7 and 8, gets a nice little burnout in front of us here on the pit exit. A bit of chaos there as Riftail Lufti, what could have been for the man who was leading this race early on. Iman Ryan as well, a very brave attempt, unfortunately did not gain him any benefit at all as he finishes in the 10th spot.
I tell you what, there's a lot of lads there who are going to go to bed with a lot of regrets. There were a lot of nearly moments. Ryan in the top 2 blew it. Oh, it's trying to get into the top 2, blew it. We wonder about Sri Lanka's opportunities. We wonder about Faisal Alim. We wonder what kind of sleepless nights the stewards are going to have. Whether that means Mad Manchis is going to be mad with the decisions, or mad with the happiness because he's potentially got the title?
Yeah.
We can't give you the answer because it's all under Stuart's hands.
Yeah, indeed. Certainly, I would be not envying the position the stewards are going to be in right now because their decision could literally affect the results of this championship here. But on that note, though, that is already the end of our 2 races for our 4th round of the GE15 in bronze class. We're going to be taking a short break, but we'll be right back with the final race of this season here, the gold and silver class, coming up after these messages.
Pewter is about possibilities. It is an idea made real. Crafted with precision. It can make tradition timeless. Pewter evolves. When allowed to be free, it can captivate you. Pewter is our legacy, and we're keeping the legacy alive. Royal Selangor, since 1885.
Very warm welcome back to ERGP Season 15. It's the global edition, GE15. We've just had an excellent race in the bronze clash. We still don't know who the champion is because the stewards are going to have to do some real deliberations. Theoretically, it's a guy called Mad Manchis, but he's under Adam Harith is his real name, but that's still got to be decided. The winner of race 2, though, was Philippines, Marcus Lacombre, and I'm glad to say I think we've got him on the line to be able to talk to us. And Marcus, congratulations, back-to-back wins, 2 races in reverse in the reverse grid. You won in Daytona, and now you've won here as well. But what went's going through your mind in the second race just now? Hello, can you hear us?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, congratulations on winning race number 2. It's 2 reverse grid races in succession. Well, what's your secret?
Honestly, it's just instinct training, because you gotta predict your opponents, because I'm noticing at the back there's gonna be one huge dive bomb with a big crash, so I just try to send it in the safest spot possible, and it works.
Certainly does. You had a bit of a confrontation with Lufty. You were battling along with him, and then he suddenly disappeared, and you won actually by quite a convincing margin. Were you aware of what was going on behind you, or were you just focused on the track ahead of you?
Honestly, I wasn't focusing on either, because it turns out I misjudged my fuel for the car, so I was hypermiling it to the finish line. Ran out of fuel right as I crossed through the line.
Well, congratulations anyway. Listen, you only joined us for 2 rounds this year. You've done pretty well in both of them. Does this mean we can expect more regular attendance from you in Season 16?
Oh, definitely. I'm sure Season 16 will be my season.
Well, congratulations. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the kind of races that you're taking place in the Philippines. Are you racing locally, or how high a level do you want to get to?
Well, personally, I want to get as high as I could, FIA regulated races, but I'm just competing nationally right now for rookie carder of the year.
Well, we wish you very, very best of luck in your ambitions. Congratulations on back-to-back races, and we'll see you in Season 16.
Thank you. See you guys in Season 16 as well. Can't wait for it.
Thanks, Marcus. Thank you. Bye for now.
All right, great to hear from him there. I mean, certainly it's a lot to be proud of, even though he's kind of missed out a little bit on the championship battle, but to win back-to-back races towards the end of the season, that certainly bodes well for next season for him, doesn't it?
And new faces as well. It's always good. eRGP, I was here in Season 1. I'm delighted to see so many new faces. I was here Season 1 to Season 6. So many new faces have come through. Plenty of new names. Marcus Lacombra is one of them as well. Right then, let's turn our focus now to the silver and gold, the big boys. And let's see where we are on the overall championship standings. Silver first, where Chester Lamb, he's the man. He's an old mate of mine. 99 points, with 49 points available. So theoretically, he can lose this championship, but in practice, not likely to happen.
Not very likely. It's only 2 races effectively here for Jaden Chia to gain some points. That's a very, very big lead, and that also assumes that Chester Lam is not able to get a single point at all, which, given its performance all season long, highly doubt is going to be the case here. Chester Lam has been through and through one of the most dominant drivers in the silver class here, Des.
But we'll keep an eye on what goes on for second and third, because you want a podium. Jaden Chia from Singapore and Cameron James from Malaysia at 65 and 63 points respectively. In the gold class, though, well, we've got a chance of another Filipino championship. Roy Numa Repare, 94 points, but only 6 clear of Demario Hasnam. He's only 11 clear of Risto Fani. And as we just saw, there's an awful lot of change that can happen in one single afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, certainly it will be very tight for all of those guys from below there. I mean, Demario Hasnam and Risto Fani are both fellow Indonesians here, only about 11 points apart from each other here. So I think it's going to be a very tough one here to challenge Roy Numero Parip, who has been consistent in participating in all 3 rounds, all 3 previous rounds here in GE15. So that's helped him a lot to be able to get that lead here.
Okay, we do have gold and silver in the one race. I think we can go in a moment just to the final few moments of practice and pick out 1 or 2 of the names. Ripper Rip is the guy who I'm really keen to have a look at to see how he's doing. He's not out on the circuit just at the moment, but he is in the server, I'm delighted to say. Chester Lamb, is Chester there? Yeah, Chester's out on the circuit. Let's have a look at Chester. He is leading the silver category, and you can tell, it's a confident turn of the wheel, even virtually.
I know, it's just, you can really tell, like, just from the way these drivers drive. I mean, that's the beauty about sim racing, isn't it? You can see the human element of it shine true somehow, especially in the way that these drivers are able to handle these cars. So practice should be coming to close in 1 more minute's time. After that, we're going to be seeing some qualifying action happening on our screens here. We got 16 total drivers who are going to be taking part in this mixed class race. It's the only race that has mixed classes together, that being the gold and the silver class drivers. drivers having to race together at the same time, although both of them are racing in separate championships. And that's led to some situations even on the Discord where drivers complaining that, some of these guys, they don't know how to race multi-class, do they? People in silver class blocking the guys in gold class and vice versa. So
it's a skill in its own right, knowing what race you're in and how to race that race and how to get out of the way. Because the back markers can be a real problem. In terms of the gold class, though, Ristafani is there. Ristafani needs to do really, really well. He's up there, and Rip is there, but there is no Denario Hasnam, who was another of those potential contenders.
Yeah, he's going to have to try and see if he can get his way through here, but at the moment, as far as Rialto Ristafani is concerned, like even in practice, he's already looking very, very fast, having set the fastest time in the session. Yeah, 142.4 here. It's not going to be indicative too much about what the actual qualifying time would be, but given that he has been absolutely stellar in G15 so far, I don't expect him to be dropping the ball anytime soon.
There is Rialto. It's just practice at the moment, but again, you can tell an awful lot how relaxed they are. We're going around Bahrain. It's a night race. You can see the headlights lighting up the desert sky.
A beautiful, beautiful track to have some racing action here. I mean, it's right in the heart of the desert. You can see lots of sand all around here, and it's a brilliant place to have racing here, whether it be the Formula 1 Grand Prix or the World Endurance Championship. It certainly has brought us a lot of action here in both the copper and the bronze class. So with these gold and silver class representing some of the best that the Global Edition has to offer, I'm expecting a lot out of our drivers here, the very top of their class, as it were.
Ristafani from Indonesia, Philippines. Numa Riparip. There's Rialto.
Way through. I mean, gotta mention how beautiful this Lamborghini that Ristafani is looking at. I mean,
it's beautiful, isn't it?
You can just recognize the Lamborghini silhouette just from that headlight and especially the rear lights. That's very much a Lamborghini trademark there, you know.
We do like this. We do like this.
Yeah.
And then alongside him, the other one to look out for, Riparip. Who is he in there?
Yep, there he is.
There we go.
Oh, using the Cadillac. A favorite entry amongst the internets, as it were, when it came to the World Endurance Championship. Indeed, this year's World Endurance Championship has been one of the most exciting seasons to behold here. So I highly recommend any of you racing fans out there to check out the World Endurance Championship when you can. But we're going to have our own mini version of that here in this Global Edition 15, given that we have access to these brilliantly designed LMDH cars, the hybrid version of these Le Mans prototypes now. So we're definitely living in 2024, guys.
Certainly is looking brilliant. Still waiting for qualifying to get underway. It is imminent.
Yeah.
As we can tell, and with only 16, actually no, how many in the serve? It's more than 16 now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'm seeing like 28 perhaps. Actually, we have the slots actually set up in. At the moment, I'm seeing 13 cars, 14 cars now coming off the grid. We still got a few more drivers holding up inside the pit lane there. So likely some last-minute joiners here coming into our service session who didn't really take part in official practice early on and now joined us for the qualifying session. Leading the charge here, in fact, is Chester Lam from the silver class, driving in the Orica LMP2 car. So these are the non-hybrid version of the Le Mans prototypes. A little bit slower compared to the LMDH, and you will certainly see that play out in the long run as this race continues on to its very end. But one thing is for sure is that these silver class drivers are no slouches either in the racing department. They've been absolutely going at it all season long. And this final round here, a lot is at stake for them, I think. Even though Chester Lam has been quite comfortable in his championship lead, I think from him on downwards, still going to be a very tight battle for second, for third, and even for fourth.
Certainly is. Chester Lam is the man with a mission, though. Ristafani in the... tell that Lamborghini from a long way away. Beautiful, isn't it? And in the night time as well, it looks particularly good. The colours on the car and the backlights, gosh, that's a sexy machine, even virtually.
Yeah, and you also even have like the Le Mans winning Ferrari being driven right now here by Kanzani Ramdhani from Indonesia. Also one driver to watch out for in this gold class. Certainly brought us quite a bit of battles, have not really translated much into an actual championship battle now. As the outlaps are now coming close here for Damara Hasna, for Roy Numer Riparip. They're going to be out there ripping now in their flying laps.
So they're the top three. Hasnam, Riparip and Ristofani, they're the top three in the championship standings. Nabil Aslan, I can see, is in the server, or he was. No, he's disappeared now.
Well, the rest of the silver class is still coming through as well. We got Aryadi Wishnu from Indonesia, currently having, well, basically having the fastest time, but that was actually out of the outlap, so that doesn't really quite count for anything right now. We got Adam Harif, fresh off of the chaos that would happen for him in bronze class, now trying his luck here in the silver class.
I made a mess of it in the previous one. Let's see how much damage it can do in race here with the gold and silver classes.
Also joining us here from the bronze class is Raja Amir Shaukat. He also is competing in the silver class here. Also another driver to watch out for in this competition.
Yeah, he's won a race already tonight, Jaden Cheer as well. Let's have a look at him, the young Singaporean. Now, in the silver class, he's second in the championship standing, so if something were to happen to Chester Lamb, Jaden is the man who can possibly pick up a championship.
Indeed he will. It's Chester Lamb taking a very black, almost carbon fiber, naked chassis here for the Orica 07, the LMP2 car that we're running in the series here for the silver class, so certainly it'll be very easy to spot him out here. Though not as easy for sure compared to Rialto Ristofani and that lime green Lamborghini machine here. Already looking to try to get himself into the final turns now. We should be seeing some actual representative times now as Damari Hasnam comes across the line at 142. Ramdhani is actually taking the faster one here at a 142.450. Ristofani only just behind him by 0.2 of a second. Damari Haslam only able to muster up a third place provisionally here with a 142.8.
Ristofani needs to really make sure he wins this race if he's got any opportunity. It's 25 points available for winning race number one. He'd also like the bonus of having 4 or 5 points for the qualifying. In the silver class, Chester Lamb. Chester, yeah, he set it. No, 25 still on his outlap, isn't it? There he is. This will be his flying lap.
It should be his flying lap, although given that he was out there running for a bit, I suspect he might have got his lap time deleted. Hence, he's going to have to make the second flying lap here count. So 1 minute 30 still remaining, still plenty of time for Chester Lam to come across the line here. Let's see if he's going to be able to recover well enough, because Jaden Chia, the second in the silver class championship, is currently the leader in that class as far as qualifying is concerned.
5 seconds differential between the gold and silver best of. Here is Jaden Chia, who is the best of the silver class. Ramdhani and Ristofani in gold class leading the way. Hasnam and Riparip, who are third and first respectively in the championship on row 2. Kayo and Jusmin on the third row, and Jaden Chia, the best of the silver class, in P7 on the fourth row of the grid alongside Shaukat. This has been a good evening's work for Shaukat.
Indeed, it has been. I mean, Shaukat, who also competed in the bronze class, is now looking like he might be able to challenge some inside the silver class here. Chester Lam has come across the line and set the time 148.6. Not enough to dethrone Jaden Chia in provisional pole position as far as silver class is concerned.
But at least he's got a lap in.
Yes.
That's the key.
That's the key. So at least he will be alongside Jaden Chia for the side, barring any other challengers coming in from him in the silver class. Mawa Kayu somehow managed to make his way up into fourth place, dethroned Ahmad Jusmin from the fourth place just now. Roy Riparip, who was the championship leader for the gold class, is now sitting in sixth position at 143.7. Not looking too competitive compared to the top three right now in the gold class.
Well, he's got a 17-point lead in the overall championship standing, so he doesn't need to do well in qualifying, but he'd quite like to. Particularly as Ristofani is in third, will pick up 3 points, will close that gap a little bit to 14 points. Ramdhani, fastest so far, a 142.4, a full 10th quicker than Hasnam. Ristofani still out there right then. What can Ristofani do? Can he improve on it? Ristofani, currently second row of the grid, and
still on the back straight.
He is still on the back straight. Down the main straight.
I was hoping to be able to see some delta times of his monitor here, but unfortunately that doesn't quite show. on the display right now. So it's anyone's guess right now if he's going to be able to improve his time. Currently sits in 4th here as, look at this, Michael Vincent Velasquez.
Wow.
142.430, 20 milliseconds faster than Ramdani's time, allowing him to take that pole position provisionally.
Ristofani, is Ristofani still out there? He is indeed. And Ristofani's time, 142.5, 142.4 to beat.
Ooh, he does beat it.
Well done. Well done.
42.397. That's a whole heck of a lot faster than what Velasquez and Ramdani were able to do. So he will be taking the honor of being on pole position unless anyone else right now in the running here. Who else is still out in the gold class? I don't think.
Rip out there. Because Rip is the man who...
He's already out.
Yeah.
He's already out of track. He's teleported in the pits. I don't think anyone else will be challenging Ristofani right now for pole position. So what a cracking lap he's done in his dying moments of this qualifying.
So it's only a 12-point differential. It was 17. Rip only 12 clear now of Ristofani. That makes it a completely different ballgame.
Indeed, it does. Another 2 more races to go. We're going to be starting with this one first. Race number 1. Ristofani in pole position here in front. Michael Vincent Velasquez, who managed to beat Ramdani by 20 milliseconds to take 2nd place. Damir Hasnam currently sitting in 4th position. That will be in the 2nd row alongside Ramdani. Mawakayu as well as Ahmad Jusmin will be taking that 3rd row there. Roy Numer Rip will be joined with Jerlandi Haki in that 4th row. And in the 5th row, that's where the silver class drivers start to come through. So Jaden Chia, 2nd place in the championship, is starting alongside our silver class championship leader, Chester Lam. You got Raja Amir Shaukat just hanging close behind them in that in the 6th row. Cameron James from Malaysia, from East Malaysia, I should add, is going to be joining them in just behind. And lastly, we'll also be seeing Adam Harif and Aryadi Vishnu currently sitting in 13th and 14th respectively.
19 on the grid to get us underway. We've got 15 seconds to go. Rialto Ristofani puts in a great starting time. Is he able to make it count? This is the penultimate race of the season. All red lights are now on. We await the start. And Ristofani gets off to a fabulous start ahead of Velasquez. Behind them, Haslam is there. How about Rip? So the front 4 get away nicely, but it's really good from Ristofani. He needs the win in the gathering gloom of Bahrain. Ristofani off to a terrific start.
Yeah, a bit of a kerfuffle going on in the middle pack there as everyone in silver class just jostling with each other right now. Ristofani continues to pull away into the lead. Damara Hasdam has already dispatched Velasquez, who's right now under pressure here from Rip around the inside. Rip now, Kazani Ramdani actually forced around the outside. He's going to be losing out that place there to Rip, and so he continues to stay ahead of Kazani, or will he stay ahead of Kazani? They are both side by side and still jostling and dogfighting around as we enter the infield section.
Yeah, it is Rip who actually loses out Ramdani in the sky blue colours. He's got himself into P4, and I tell you what, this first lap, it has opened up the championship as wide as you possibly can get. A little bit further down, Chester Lamb is in P12.
And Jaden Chia in last place right now in 19th. Something weird must have happened to him going to that first turn because I saw all the silver cars coming together there, and it looks like Jaden Chia caught the worst of it. Chester Lam, though, still going to be in a fight right now with Vishnu, as Vishnu tries to cut him around the inside. Didn't quite get in there first, though. Chester Lam beat him to the apex and stays ahead of them.
Tell you what, who's doing well. Cameron James, P9 for the silver class. He's got himself off to a reasonable start. Remember, gold and silver are there. You get... It's 2 races within one, so there's 2 lots of 25 points available. In the gold class, Ristofani is still leading the way. Raja Amrul Shikat, gosh, he's had a terrific evening's work so far.
Yeah, Raja Amrul Shikat, in fact, is the leader of the silver class.
Ahead of Cameron James, yeah.
Cameron James right now, so he's having a nice combo lead here. Marakayu in the moment, fighting with Haki as they enter that first turn. It looks like he will stay in front of Haki, so no chances for Haki to be able to make up a place there so far. Chesalam in the meantime continuing to still feel the pressure. Now he's trying to put the moves on the Pianata and does move up into 10th position here. So now it's only got Cameron James as well as Raja Amir Shaukat to catch up to in the silver class.
I think all he's really worried about is Jaden Che. If he picks up 25 points here, if he picks up double points here, he will be champion of the silver class. Right then, back up to the front. This is Velasquez in P3. Had a really good qualification for Velasquez. He missed round 2 in Sebring. He won race 2 last time out in Daytona. So he's a driver who is in form. The Mario Hasnam is the man ahead of him. The sandwich is completed by Ramdani behind him. And then Ripperip, the championship leader, is under severe pressure.
Indeed he is. Velasquez is still continuing to try to close that gap between himself. Darren Hassan has been able to edge away 0.2 of a second since we last saw him there on the infield straight. Ripper in the meantime about 1.8 seconds, almost 2 seconds away from Ramdani right now, so has a lot of time to try to make up for in the next 12 minutes. Velasquez though, he is getting alongside Hasnam right now. This could be a pass forward. Second place as Damir Hasnam beats him to the apex. Can he keep the position though? As the switchback is now in effect. Velasquez tries desperately to get his position back here, but cannot quite find the speed on the main straight though. Damir Hasnam slowly pulling away from him as now Velasquez tries to get a slipstream from him. Cannot quite catch up to him by the time he gets to the breaking point. I think Damir Hasnam has this in the bag.
Yeah, Haslam got that breaking point absolutely spot on there. Able to hold his line. Haslam is a good racer. He's third in the championship standing as well. He's another with some very fine performances. A P3 at Silverstone, a P2 at Sebring, and a P3 at Daytona. So you've got to be good to get to the better of Haslam. Ramdani, in the meantime, who got a win in the reverse grid race at Sebring. He is now in P4. That's a good little battle for P2 as Ramdani then goes a little bit wide. Lost a little bit of time, but the other two were dueling, so we didn't lose that much time. But Ripperip, in the meantime, is having a tough old time. He's nearly 2 seconds down on Ramdani.
Yeah, didn't really make much gains actually, in spite of the fact that Velasquez, Hasnam, and Ramdani have been battling each other. Speaking of battles though, I think Velasquez is sensing an opportunity to try to get one on the Mario. He had a little peek there, but only just a peek, not enough there to challenge Hasnam for his P2 position.
Stefani, meantime, has a lead of 3 seconds ahead of them. It may be a colourful colour Lamborghini, but it is disappearing into the distance up over the brow of the hill behind them. A real battle going on, a train of 3, Hasnan, Velasquez and Ramdani.
All 3 of them just going into that final turn now. Ristofani, your race leader, is going to be coming through to the main line to still take the lead of the race here. 10 minutes, or less than 10 minutes now, still remaining. It's Ramdani and Velasquez. Velasquez actually lost out of position there. Ramdani has now cut him for 3rd position and may be able to stay ahead of him. He can just keep ahead of him in this braking zone, but Damir Hasnam is blocking off a little bit. Not enough to keep Ramdani away from Velasquez there as he takes a position and is up into the 3rd step.
Ramdani left his braking so late. I thought it overcooked it a little bit, but he was able to just cling on around the corner. And Velasquez, who'd been looking to get into P2, instead drops down to P4. All the while these 3 are battling, getting further and further away, is Ristofani, whose lead is now 3.6 seconds. He's on train tracks around this Bahrain circuit, while the 3 behind are really just scrapping it out. Yeah. And that allows Ripperip to get a little bit closer.
In the meantime, for the silver class, it looks like Chesalam is finally caught up to Raja Amil Shaukat, so this is going to be a challenge for the lead of the silver class in race 1 now on our hands. Raja Amil Shaukat has done well to stay ahead of Chesalam and stay out of the trouble that unfortunately took out Jaden Chow, who, by the way, has already made his way up into 15th as we have been distracted by the battles going on in the gold class. Chesalam is now looking to try to make some moves onto Raja Amil Shaukat imminently here as he closes in on that gap.
Yeah, Chesalam, we saw him earlier on in practice and he looked very relaxed, just the way his hands were moving. But he's under pressure, Chesalam. That's Jusmin.
That's Jusmin from the gold class. This be good for the silver class to get out of the way there, as the LMDH cars a lot faster than these LMP2
but
cars.
Shaukat doesn't get out of the way.
Yeah.
That's an awkward one.
Yeah, a bit awkward there, but finally gives way there just at the just as they enter the penultimate straight here. So that should give Jusmin now the chance to pull up ahead. In the meantime,
is that
Ramdani!
Ramdani.
Ramdani spun around there. Velasquez moves up to second place. So does Marakayu and Haki as well. Ramdani is going to try to rejoin from the grass, but will only rejoin behind the Lamborghini of the Indonesian ahead of him. And you got Damir Hasnam as well involved in that incident. So two drivers unfortunately spun out in that first turn.
Well, those two had been dueling with each other, so maybe there was a move that just caused a problem.
Move being made here by Chester Lam. He moves up into the lead of the silver class, having dispatched Raja Shaukat in the first turn. Completes the move on the second turn right now. Cameron James is sensing an opportunity here as he closes up onto Raja Shaukat. Might be able to make some moves here if Raja is not able to regain the pace.
Yeah, Cameron James is looking for a podium position in the championship. It's a 4-round championship in gold and silver. Cameron James looking to get into P3. Chester Lamb, victory here will secure the championship undoubtedly for Chester Lamb. Cameron James looking to get himself though a nice little bauble. In the meantime, behind them, ahead of them, you've got in the gold class, Ristofani's lead is now up to 5 seconds, but Rip is, this is terrific for Ristofani.
I know, I mean right now he's effectively in control of the race, and 6 minutes still remaining right now. He can cruise his way into the sunset, quite literally and figuratively here, as he's not going to be under pressure much from Velasquez or Rip. So certainly we'll be getting the lion's share of the points here should this come to pass. As Cameron James continues to try to close the gap onto Raja Shaukat, might be in the position now to try to make a pass on the main straight.
Yeah, it's the silver class, I think, that's offering at this stage a little bit of the interest. Cameron James, who's third in the championship. Hamdani is out on the circuit, but not really competing. Jaden Cheer, where's Jaden Cheer? He's got himself up to P14 now. What's the difference? He's not far, he's maybe 7 seconds behind. There is Jaden Cheer, 7 seconds behind Cameron James and Shaukat and Chester Lamb. Well, Chester Lamb, gosh, look at that from Chester Lamb. He's taken a 2-second lead over Shaukat.
Yeah, as soon as he managed to get past Raja Shaukat, he's just been flying away right now. But no doubt that's also helped by the fact that Cameron has been battling so hard at Raja that it's forced now to play defense. Cameron now almost having a peek on the inside there, but that's actually put Vishnu now in play here as he attempts to have a look at the inside of Cameron James. Almost a tantalizing move there, but holds back just slightly, allowing Cameron James to continue to give chase to Raja Shaukat.
Yeah, Vishnu had a good start to the season, a P3 in Silverstone in round 1. Hasn't picked up as many points. He has picked up points in both Sebring and Daytona, but no podiums. So Vishnu will be looking to start the season well and end the season well. Maybe set himself up for season 16. Jaden Cheer was another who started the season poorly, but last time out he had a P2 and a P4 in the 2 races.
Oh, a tricky move. He's trying to make there to Quinton Young around the outside. Can't quite find a way to exit though. Quinton Young had a better exit that time around. Remains in 13th place. Jaden Chow is going to have to try again here. In the meantime, I think Mawakayu driving the only driver using the Peugeot, which is distinctive given the fact it doesn't have a rear wing. It's now caught up to Roy Numer Rip. Might be challenging him for the 3rd step on the podium here for the gold class.
Quite right. Kayu has made a real move there, unseen or unacknowledged by me anyway, because we're too busy looking at Rip. Rip doesn't seem up to speed today. I expected him to be coming into this competition absolutely flying because he had a win and a P4 last time out. But the Lazio Ragazzo racer not on top form.
Yeah, only set a 143.2, so that's certainly a bit of a discrepancy, I think, given what a Cadillac should be capable of, or rather, what Roy himself should be capable of. So Mawakayu now is putting a lot of pressure here, trying to get himself up on the podium for the gold class in race number 1. Roy Numer is going to have to pull a lot of defensive moves here in order to try to head him off. In the meantime, I think Haki Gerlandi is going to have to pull some defense moves of his own because Ramdani is now looking to try to take his position. Having a look around the outside, can't quite find the exit though, so will not be able to have enough speed to catch up to him at this point, but might just be able to do so by the time to get to the main straight.
Yeah, Ramdani, he was doing really well. He was looking for a P2 earlier on, but spun out along with Hasnam. And that really hurts Hasnam's chance of making a championship charge. He was on 90 points coming into this race. He picked up 2 points in qualification. Rip on 94 was leading the championship. Stefani now on 82 points, really comes into the reckoning.
Cameron James is still half a second away from Rajamil Shaukat. Ramdani 0.3 seconds away from Haki. Mawakayu.
Oh, Rip.
Getting closer to Rip. That looked like a bit of a lockup there in the Cadillac, so Mawakayu unfortunately was not able to capitalize, but Haki might be able to capitalize on Ramdani though. He managed to get alongside him out of turn number 3, maybe ahead of him by the time they get into the braking for the turn, but wait a minute, Ramdani stretches it away. Can he keep the position though as Haki is still sleeking through and gets him on the switchback?
Well, that was a unique line that Ramdani tried to take. It was he tried to get past Haki, but Ramdani, he just gave himself too much to do there. Right, look at the skid marks, look at the tire marks out on the circuit.
Absolutely representative with the
Caillou! Blocking up again, Rip.
Yeah, that's compromised him completely on the exit. Marakayu will be able to get alongside him this time around. This could be great here because this is a battle for the podium in the gold class. Marakayu now has a perfect position to try to take the place away from Roy. Just needs to close the door on him and does stay ahead of him. Now up into the hills here. Mawakayu is into P3.
That really hurts Rip as well in the championship standings. Ristofani leads. The lead has come down though. Oh, who's gone off the track there?
I think
It wasn't Ristofani, it wasn't the green.
It's back marker, I think. Can't quite catch who that was, but certainly not someone that the gold class will be concerned with, I think.
Again, he's locking up. What's going on there? What's wrong with his setup?
Yeah, I mean, now that you mention it, I mean, he's still consistently lapping in that 143s, although Mawakayu behind him is also in the 143s. I think Ramdani might be looking to try to make a move on the Haki one more time into this first turn. He comes with a dive. Oh, dive running outside. Haki moves to defend, so he just compromised his entry completely. But unfortunately, Ramdani hits the grass, slows him down too much, and Gerlandi comes back into P5.
Tell you what, he's having a real go, is Ramdani, isn't he? He's having a right old pop, but each time he leaves his braking too late. There's a limit on how much you can pump those brakes. There again, he takes that strange route. It's almost like he's looking for a beach.
No beaches, I think, to be found close to Bahrain at this time of the year, maybe.
It's near the coast, I think, this circuit. It's near the coast. Yeah. Anyway, here's Rip.
Here's Rip.
P4.
Yeah, we're noticing that the lockups he's having so
Every
far.
time, it's 4 or 5 times now.
Yeah, exactly. So I wonder if there's some problem with the balance that he's set up for his brakes, or some other issue. I do believe that these drivers are running on a fixed setup, so there shouldn't be a setup issue on his part. Perhaps it's just having an issue adapting to this car for some reason. Even though we're already in the final round of this season. Ramdani, in the meantime, though,
on the final lap, the leader is on the final lap. The leader is coming through. Here is Ristofani. He will pick up 25 points at least.
Yes.
Will it be more? Will it be 25 plus a fastest lap? It certainly puts him genuinely into championship contention. Velasquez second, Caillou third, Rip, the championship leader, under pressure, can only finish in P4.
Yeah, Haki right now still under pressure from Ramdani all throughout this final turn, but unfortunately they've already reached the main straight. Ramdani is still half a second behind. Haki will finish in 5th position. Ramdani in 6th. Demaria Hasna will come through to take 7th place here, and Ahmad Jusmin will finish things up for the gold class. In the meantime, Chester Lam.
There's our champion.
There's our champion for the silver class. He's going to be confirming it with the checker flag coming through any time now as soon as he finishes the last sector here. He's still a long way back from the rest of the gold class. We're finished practically 10-15 seconds ahead of where the rest of the silver class is. So Ahmad Jusmin will be the last of the gold class drivers to take the checkered flag. Chester Lam is going to be coming through the final turn as well, just behind where Jusmin is. And, well, round of applause there for Chester Lam. He's done a cracking season here for the silver class. And okay, well.
Oh, has he?
Has he
crossed the line? Has he crossed the line?
Has he crossed the line?
Yes,
okay,
he has.
Yes. A bit of drama towards the end there as Rajamil Shaukat looked like he was about to catch him towards the end there, but still Chester Lam comes through to take the win for the silver class in race 1. Rajamil Shaukat in 2nd place for the silver class, and Cameron James in 3rd for the silver class.
Congratulations, though, to Chester Lamb. A bit of fun at the end. A bit of a heart attack for us. A bit of applause, but there is our silver champion, Chester Lamb. And in the meantime, though, the gold is going right the way to the final finish. Ristofani, 25 points. Well, that puts him right into contention. 107 points. According to our calculations, Ristofani and Ripperip level. Level.
Well, this is going to make race really interesting, isn't it? I mean,
Ripperip has a better starting position.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking about. So, because this reverse grid takes all of the top 10, so you got also the silver class drivers in front of the gold class drivers. That could be another situation here they're going to have to deal with in the first lap. So that potentially could just create all sorts of chaos there, I think, in this reverse grid race number 2.
Fantastic. That's exactly what we want, isn't it?
Yeah.
From our point of view, from our perspective, for the drivers, apologies. I know you take it incredibly seriously, but we want the contact.
Well, we want to show. I mean, we're talking about the last race now, on the last last round of the season here. So with some potential chaos on the cards here for all our viewers at home, we could be in for quite the finish here in both the gold class and the silver class races.
So Ripperip, Ristofani, 107 points each. Hasnam, 90 points. That's our unofficial calculations coming into this final scenario for the gold class. 25 seconds before we go. Shackout and Chester Lamb, the champion of silver. We know that has happened. They're on the front row. Jusnim and Hasnam on the second row. Ramdani and Haki on the third. Ripperip on the fourth ahead of Caio. Velasquez and Ristofani on the fifth row of the grid.
All right. With the red lights going on now, race number 2 will be underway with the 2 silver cars in front. This is going to be chaos going into the first turn as they run up into the run now. I think Demar Hasnam is going to be able to cut both of the silver cars. He's going to be way ahead of the rest of the gold class now going in that first turn. Ripper Rip is now attempting to negotiate around Chester Lam as well as Ripper Rip. Haki is going to be able to get through. Now Ramdani, unfortunately, is stuck behind Rialto Ristofani, but is up into 5th place here.
But Ristofani, that's the crucial one. He's in 4th. Ripper Rip 3rd. Ristofani 4th. Those two are 1 and 2 in the gold class. Ripper Rip leads. Randani is a potential spoiler. But the men we are really chasing, Chester Lam has already won silver. Velasquez are there. The men we really must focus on. Ripper Rip in P3 and Ristofani in P4.
Yeah.
For there is the championship. Yeah. Whoever wins that battle wins the title.
They're completely tied at points right now for this race, so everything is now hinging upon this next 14 minutes here. Ripper ahead of Ristofani right now. The Cadillac taking a little bit of an excursion onto the curbs there. That might put Ristofani in a position now to catch up to him. He's going to have a peek on the inside. This is going to be the pass for the championship now as Rialto Ristofani slips his way through and Rio de Bear is not able to do anything to block him off.
That's aggressive place work there from Ristofani. I'm wondering whether or not Ripper Rip is still going to have the same problem. He's under pressure here from Ramdani as well, who we know is a very aggressive racer. Ramdani goes a little bit wide there, but this is a 3-way battle ahead of them. Haslam and Haki have got away 1 and 2. Ristofani, Ripper Rip and Ramdani in a ripping battle for P3.
Yeah, in the meantime, I mean, Chester Lam has to give way now for the Mawakayu, but he's already 3 seconds clear of Young, who is the only challenger really remaining here for the silver class. But Chester Lam, he's already wrapped up this championship for him in the first race here, so this is now just a Sunday cruise for him out on Bahrain. Ramdani in the meantime still catching on Roy Namer, and Roy is still locking up his tires here, Des.
What can explain that? Because he's the only one on the circuit who has had problems, not only in race number 2 but in race number 1 where he locked up 4 or 5 times. That clearly is affecting him.
Yeah, I mean, Randani is continuing to give the pressure onto him. So Velasquez is also caught up to both of these drivers now off of that chain reaction from Roy Demer's little lockup on the first turn. So now a 3-way battle now for 4th place. Damaro Hasnam continues to lead 0.8 seconds ahead of Gerlandi Haki. So, well, is Haki actually going to be catching up to him? Because it looks like he's getting tantalizingly close here.
Yeah, I liked Haki in the first race. He's one of the M92 Motorsport drivers. Did not start in 2 rounds in race number 1, but has had a P4 and a P2 in round 2. So a capable racer, obviously. But there is Ristofani. And Ristofani, look at this, he's taken a 1.3 second lead over Ripper Rip.
Indeed, I mean, Ripper Rip is not able to keep up at all. In fact, he's just having his hands tied, just trying to defend against both Ramdani and Velasquez. So that's just adding to the advantage now for Ristofani in this championship battle here, Des.
I'm wondering if there's anything that is showing in the game for Ripper Rip that's causing him these problems. Because clearly Ramdani is closing up on him, nearly a bit of contact, maybe giving him a shove, saying, you give Ristofani a really good race there, I'll shove you a little bit closer. And there is Roy Ripper Rip. Is there anything showing up there? There isn't, is there?
I can't really tell anything because, again, like the tire information usually doesn't show up on the heads-up display except on the client's side. So really, there's not much information here to tell what exactly is the issue that Ripper Rip is experiencing in his Cadillac. But one thing's for sure, I mean, look at how far ahead Ristofani is right now. He's already 1.7 seconds ahead of Ripper Rip. Now he's just extending that lead further and further away. And the more he does that, the less the chances are for Roy Numer to continue defending his lead in the championship here.
Yeah, because Roy Numer, he's under pressure. He's got to look behind Ramdani and Velasquez, who are both very capable racers. Jusmin's not a million miles behind. And look at this, Ramdani has another little look on the inside. Where are they? This is the sharp left-hander. They're coming into 10. This is a tough old corner.
Ramdani's getting closer and closer to Ripper Rip, it seems, every other corner. As Jaden Chian now tries to make a move onto Quinton de Jong. Couldn't quite make that one stick, though, as Quinton is able to get himself in front, back onto Jaden Chiao, keeping him out of 10th place right now. But Jaden Chiao looks like he wanted to have another look at 10-10. Has to tuck in behind Quinton yet again. Jaden Chiao continues to try to take the slipstream right now. And for Jaden, at least, you know, he wants to at least be able to keep himself in that second place, and overtaking Young should be able to keep that secure here.
Is that an Italian flag that Quinton's flying under?
It is. I don't think Quinton is from Italy, though. Might just be a...
Quinton the Younger.
Oh, man. In the meantime, Velasquez, though, looks like this time is Ramdani under treasure here. He lost a bit of time to Ripper Rip as we turned away, and now Velasquez is all over him. Got a bit of contact there and flashes his lights in anger there on Ramdani as he tries to have a look on the outside one more time. Ramdani, unfortunately, leaves the inside a little bit open, allowing Velasquez to try to get alongside him, and over the curbs goes Ramdani, slows him down enough to allow Velasquez through.
They are big curves, and that would have done an awful lot of damage there to Ramdani. Behind them, Mayu Kayu had a very good race one. He comes in. He's pressurizing Jusmin. Just a ram up ahead of Quentin Young in the silver class.
Jaden Chia continuing to chase it. Vishnu, he's back again in the possible three-way battle here for second in the silver class. Quentin Young is the one holding that position right now, but just barely, as Jaden Chia has been hounding him all throughout this race. Ristofani, in the meantime, he's already caught up to Jelani Hockey. Is he going to be able to extend his lead to Ripper Rip now?
Well, that's what he'll be hoping.
Yeah.
Avoid contact, Risto. Avoid contact. You don't want to be spun out. You are 8.5 minutes away from a gold championship. Your first gold championship for Indonesia. Oh, he's gone wide. That's what he's got to be careful of.
Yeah.
That is, wow, track limits, and it allows Ripper Rip a real glimpse of glory himself.
Yeah, remember, it's probably bringing a sigh of relief. They can still catch up to Ristofani now with that excursion he's made, but he still has Velasquez continuing to hound him from behind, though, so he has to think about that in defense here. As Priyanata now under challenge here from Quinton Young, who had lost out his position here. Vishnu actually managed to get through, and it's up into 10th place now, as Quinton Young is now still ahead of Jaden Chia. Oh, that bump there from Priyanata has forced him out wide here and allowed Jaden Chia to move up into 13th place.
That's Italian driving.
Well, a bit of international flavor here going on in the Global Edition 15 as Ripper Rip has just been passed by Velasquez. He's down one position from Ristofani. This could be the death knell here for his championship chances.
Velasquez, he was very impressive in race number 1 as well. He missed out on a couple of rounds, but he had a win on the reverse grid race and a P2 on the first race here, so he's had podium finishes. Velasquez, Ripper Rip, who started the season, well, he's had a win, 2 wins as Ripper Rip. He won first race in Sebring, he won the first race in Daytona. But here he's under pressure. Ristovani, meantime, gosh, he's going for it, isn't he, Risto?
Yeah, he still is chasing after another fellow Lamborghini driver in the form of Jelani Haki here. Has been tantalizingly close for the last few times. Didn't quite make it stick the last time around, but this time it's going to be Velasquez providing that pressure from behind. 0.4 seconds behind Ristofani, while Ristofani is seeing Haki slowly pull away from him, but not far enough to take him out of his crutches here. Ramdani, in the meantime, continue to pressure Ripper Rip, who has seen certainly better days here. Ripper Rip, who has dropped down one position now, maybe in danger of losing another one here if he cannot keep Ramdani off of him. Velasquez, in the meantime, pounding right behind Ristofani, trying to take the slipstream as much as he can as we go into the first turn. Still very much clear here as Jelani Haki moves in front. Kanzani Ramdani moves in front of Ripper Rip, though. That's going to be a move now into 5th place.
Okay, for Ristofani. Ristofani does...
Oh, no!
Ramdani lost it too much on the gas, and Ripper Rip, for the second time in this race, has a reprieve. Is there something in the sky, in the Bahrain sky, that says Ripper Rip is going to pull this back? Because I'm worried about Ristofani. I'm worried that Ristofani is going to try too hard to take 2nd place or defend 3rd place too hard and spin out. That's my concern going into the last 5 minutes. Instead, Velasquez spins out.
What a jinx there, really.
Oh, Ramdani
continue.
slams into the side of Velasquez.
Oh, he did. Oh, my goodness. That's just gone from bad to worse here for Velasquez, because no doubt he will certainly have felt it sting there just from spinning out. Now it's gone in damage here from Ramdani, and that's actually put Ramdani out of that battle with Ripper Rip all throughout. So
He's 4th now. He's 4th now. Ristofani, all you've got to do is finish ahead of Ripper Rip. Realto, that's all you've got to do.
That's all he's got to do, but he's just been catching Haki all throughout these laps here. So if he continues to catch him and potentially leading into a battle for 2nd place, that might be a risk too far for him. I mean, as far as it stands here, as long as Ristofani finishes in front of Ripper Rip, he's already guaranteed the Gold Class Championship.
Absolutely. He's got a 3.5 second gap. Think, Rialto. For the show, go for it. But for the championship, think, my friend, think.
Well, we might be seeing some action here between Mawakayu and Ahmad Jusmin, as now the Peugeot has found its way through the slipstream, now trying to find its way around the outside of Ahmad Jusmin. Cannot quite get it done there, unfortunately, as he tucks away in the 2nd turn. So Mawakayu is going to have to try again. Velasquez keeping the pressure under Ramdani, who had unfortunately ran into him when he spun out earlier on. Now they're both going to be battling it out for 7th place. 4 minutes still remaining in this race. Still quite a way to go.
Those two are much better racers to be battling out for 7th. You've got to stay on the track. You've got to keep the wheels on the tarmac. That's what it's all about sometimes. Yes, take the odd risk, but Ramdani and Velasquez both been a little bit gung-ho this week. Right then, Ristofani, his lead is 4 seconds. You don't need to take Aki. You don't need P2. You've got 3.5 minutes before you are crowned champion.
Yeah, you just try to take it easy, but it just feels like
he's going for it.
He must go for it. He already senses, he already knows. I mean, again, it's just racer's instinct taking over, right? You see a slower car in front, you want to pass him already, and Ristofani is just fighting that urge, but seems to be fighting a losing battle, it would seem, as he's continuing to close in onto Haki lap after lap. Still maybe 2 more laps to go here as Velasquez now finally tries to make a move around the outside. Ramdani cannot quite make it stick as Ramdani continues to stay ahead, even through the braking zone, as well as Velasquez backs out of it.
We have a look at Ripper Rip. I think he's under pressure from Jusmin.
He is indeed. 0.4 seconds as I saw as we switch to Ahmad Jusmin behind Ripper Rip. They enter the main straight right now. Ristofani and Haki should be making their turn as well as Hassan continues to stay in the lead here. Ahmad Jusmin not able to gain any slipstream off of Ripper Rip there. Still has to tuck in behind. Velasquez does get a bit of a slipstream now off of Ramdani. Can he actually meet him in the braking zone? I don't think so. Still a long way back unless he really dives for it, which he indeed does. Just in time to hold him off at the apex, keeps him up in 7th, and stays in 7th place.
Very, very good. He held onto those brakes. Ramdani tries to get the drive out, but Velasquez, this is a good race into the corner. Velasquez can hold it. Yeah, Ramdani, as they come round this right hand again, Ramdani takes the country load. You take the high road, I'll take the low road. Ramdani's got through.
Wow.
Yes, indeed.
Just like that, a good counter-attack from Ramdani gets him back up in the position, but he knows that he's going to be wounded in terms of pace there, so Velasquez might just have another opportunity. Yet again, we are with Ristofani continuing to stay behind Hockey, still trying to find a gap, but still not able to find a way through. Will he actually just hold this position here? Because again, he's already 5 seconds clear of Ripper Rip. He doesn't need to be pushing Hockey this hard, but he still wants to as a racing driver.
Ristofani, as it stands, who's got the fastest lap? Fastest lap could decide this. Fastest lap. It won't be Ripper Rip. That's his problem. He's been too inconsistent.
I suspect it might be Hasnam there. He's got a 142. Oh, okay. That's already gone away there. That's just the last lap. So it'll be pretty much up to the official results that are generated after this race to be in order to tell. But let's see whether or not he's actually done enough here to get that fastest lap. Asma just in the meantime continuing to hound Ripper Rip through the first turn, actually getting very close. That's almost bumper to bumper there onto the Cadillac. Just barely missed out the contact there.
As our leader on the final lap with 46 seconds to go, it might be the final lap this.
It might just be.
Who's got himself a 4-second lead. I'm sorry to you, Demario, we've rather ignored you. There's been so many other agendas going on, but Demario Hasman looking for his first win of the season. It's looking pretty convincing. 25 seconds to go.
Oh, I think that's Ramdani going off track there. Velasquez is going to be through into 7th place. So, well, just a thing to have literally right at the end of the race right now. A bit of a battle going on from 4th until 6th here as Mawakayo is caught out. Just spins out at the last moment there, and that's actually put him out of this battle here. Mawakayo is going to now take over from him in his battle against Ristofani. Last lap is up right now as Damara Hasnam is rounding around into the penultimate straight.
So Hasnam will take this penultimate straight. Behind them, Ristofani, barring a catastrophe, will take this title. There is Ristofani. You don't need to compete. You don't need to get into P3. Behind them is Caillou coming into the race lead. Hasnam has taken the victory. Behind them, Haki will come through in P2. And your new champion, unofficially, ladies and gentlemen, Rialto Ristofani gets himself P3. And we believe the gold championship.
And Rialto Ristofani, ooh. Ripper Rip able to just hold up Mawakayo by the last moment there. He takes 4th place. Mawakayo finishes in 5th. And Michael Vincent Velasquez moves into 2nd place and takes checker flag in 6th place. Ahmad Jusmin takes a 7th, and Ramdani, where is he right now? He takes 7th, or is he going to be able to take the checker flag? He hasn't quite gone across the control line there. Ramdani, he's got to get a little bit ahead there. And yep, there we go. Checkered flag there from Ramdani ahead of Ahmad Jusmin.
It's a 40-point final weekend for Ristofani, as Chester Lamb already confirmed as the silver category winner. He is looking to win back-to-back wins for silver. Great job, Chester. Thrilled for you. Been following you ever since season number 1. Vishnu comes through in P2. Well done for him. And Jaden Chia, the Singaporean, will come through in P3 in the silver category. But that was already done and dusted. Cameron James will come through in 4th, but will be 3rd overall in that championship.
There we have it. That's the end of our gold and silver class races. It was, not gonna lie, a little bit chaotic and a little bit unfortunate, I think, for Ripper Rip. Just experiencing so many issues with his car locking up every single turn. I think that really put him out of any potential to actually give a good battle to Ristofani in this championship.
But it's a 40-point weekend for Ristofani. A P1 and a P2, fastest in qualifying in P1 as well. If you put those kind of numbers on the board, you deserve to come from way down. He wasn't a genuine contender until this weekend, until this final round. We think, subject to confirmation, subject to steward's inquiries, subject to anything, but we think Rialto Ristofani is the new gold champion.
Indeed, it will come to pass. So with that, we're going to be taking a short break, but hopefully we'll be back maybe with an interview and maybe to be able to wrap up some thoughts here together. So stick around, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back after these messages.
Pewter is about possibilities. It is an idea made real. Crafted with precision. It can make tradition timeless. Pewter evolves. When allowed to be free, it can captivate you. Pewter is our legacy, and we're keeping the legacy alive. Royal Selangor, since 1885.
Very warm welcome back to eRGP season number 15. We are finished with season number 15. The gold and silver classes were decided today, as were copper and bronze. In the silver, congratulations to Chester Lam from Hong Kong, a long-time eRGP contender. He's picked up a silver category win, so well done to him. In gold, though, gosh, we think it's very, very, very close. We think it's gone to Risto Ristofani, but subject to confirmation, which means that Roy Numa Ripperip, who was leading coming into this championship, into the final round, looks like you've been beaten at the post. We've got Roy on the line just to have a little reaction. So Roy, we think that you've just missed out on winning the gold championship.
Well, to be honest, yeah, when it came to practice, I saw that there was a big pace difference, and I realized that I may have came underprepared. Maybe I expected that, and it's not like issue of the car, but like I think it's a skill issue of myself that I thought that not only myself but to them that they have lock up issues when turning into those acute corners. So yeah, most of my pace has just gone from losing almost like 1/10 for every acute corner in Bahrain. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's interesting that you were having those issues. We were noticing that all throughout, which, I mean, you're saying is more of a skill issue rather than an issue with the car. Wasn't the Cadillac the car that you're running in the previous rounds? What was particular about Bahrain that made it a lot more difficult? Is this just the corners?
Yeah, I think it's the corners. Compared to the last three tracks, it is very flowy. Almost all the corners, like Daytona and Silverstone. Yeah. So unlike I felt that that feeling of that I think trail braking was my biggest issue when it came to the very acute corner. So yeah, I think that's the big difference between all the tracks. So yeah, it felt very weird trying to brake the car and trying to turn it.
Were you aware that Rialto was the main competitor for you? Were you aware that it was basically a runoff between the two of you going in the final race?
Yeah, I think honestly, I never expected actually to become a title contender. I think it was just I think luck that I got in the third round in the rerun. So yeah, I think when it came to the fourth round, yeah, I half expected that, honestly, that he had paced truly when those previous rounds, especially in round one. So yeah, when it came to this, when I saw it, it was in reality, like I accepted my fate that it may not be my season this.
Well, again, I'm hoping to be able to see you for next season because regardless of the issues you face in this round, I think throughout the entire season we've been seeing consistently good races coming out from you as well as the rest of the gold class. So any kind of like final thoughts you'd like to share with us, or maybe some shout outs you'd like to give to our audience here before we leave?
Ooh, final thoughts. Yeah, I think in the end this was, I think, most probably one of the funnest seasons I've ever had. These hypercars are so so close to each other. I think it's just when it comes to driving skill to drive each different car in their own ways, to push it to the limits. And yeah, also honestly, I had a promise that if ever I become a champion, I would shout out. But I have the opportunity to shout out. So yeah, so I think shout out to everyone in my school that supported me, and everyone, my friends, family that supported me to this upcoming last round. And I thank you very much, even if I didn't get the championship, but in the end I gave it my all, and next season I will try again.
Fantastic. You took us to the final corner of the final race of the season. From an objective point of view, you can't ask for more than that. So thank you and congratulations, even though it's P2 only.
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity again, next to another season, to see you guys again soon.
Inshallah. Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
Good reaction. Very sporting reaction.
Indeed. I mean, very well composed, actually, considering how close that championship battle was, and to know that he just missed out by just that much, and it was just a frustration, a struggle to adapting to this track here that led to it. I mean, it certainly would have been a good feeling for him, but to see him still very composed in this interview, it just goes to show that he still has a lot of fire in his heart. I mean, I'm betting the next time we're going to be seeing him in this global edition, he's going to be coming back even stronger than before. So kudos to him. I mean, it was a fantastic show that he's delivered to us here in the final race of this final round of the season, and we couldn't, like as you said, we couldn't ask for anything better out of him.
Indeed. Congratulations to Rialto Restefani. Commiserations to Roy. Brilliant effort from the Filipino. And so the end of eRGP Season 15, Global Edition Season 15. But it's not the end of eRGP this season. But Endurance still to come. And probably a Season 16 under planning.
Yeah, we'll definitely be under planning for that. So make sure you all at home will follow us on our social medias, because that's going to be the main way we'll be disseminating all the information about upcoming races, upcoming events, everything, all thanks to our sponsors, especially. We got to thank X Park, Royal Selangor, as well as Axel Sports. These with the hard work of everyone working behind the scenes, from Alex Young all the way down to even our producer here today, Iza Offman. We've been able to bring you guys a show like this like never before. So sincerely, I thank everyone been hard at work at the team behind the scenes, actually bringing you guys the stream to the fold.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed it. Those who watched the stream, great. Those who are racing, fantastic. From Victor and Des Corkill, it's been our pleasure to bring you eRGP Season number 15. Bye for now.